No, you're good.
There we go.
Uh, there we are. Okay, so the crew of the Dawn's Eclipse has undertaken a new mission, the Plague of Star Beasts. You were given by a priestess of High Moon Shadow, Aldra, High Priestess of Selune. She has asked you to investigate and cure a mysterious space plague that has been afflicting the Kindorei of Realm Space. She says that it's been difficult to cure, has given you some specifics about how the sickness works, how it looks, sort of a tar near the eyes. It stops their eye communication. Vegetation sometimes grows on their back. Um, it spreads to humanoids. There's no visible symptoms other than a slight discoloration under the tongue and fingernails. But once it is like the disease is incubated, there is no curing it from a humanoid thereafter. Um, so you guys all began this quest. You not hired, you recruited a Dame Alara Moonshadow, Oath of the Ancients, Selenite from the Feywilds, to help you with the Kindorei problem. And recently, you did run into a couple Kindorei, as you might have hoped. One was sick within the 5 Kindorei pod, and you managed, with the help of Alara, to heal them through a method of protection from evil and good, to stave off what seems to be some kind of evil malady. And once that layer was sort of broken through, she produced a lay on hands, required a little extra juice than usual, and it healed the plague. You all decided that the best way to create a way to heal the Kindorei was to create some kind of antidote that could be delivered through the scavers, the space sharks throughout realm space that function as sort of they kind of like eat the vegetation off of the Kindorei bellies and kind of clean them. So you thought to sort of make the scavers the delivery method for the vaccine for the Kindorei. So you have decided to go to the planet of Garden to enlist the help of an alchemist or herbalist to help you make such a cure. As the resources necessary for like a paladin or cleric to go to each and every individual Kindorei through realm space was insane, kind of ridiculous. Very difficult delivery method. Lyra made sure to cure you guys of disease just in case. And on the way there, you found a bombard ship that was whaling Kindorei. And you guys said, no fucking way, not on our watch. And it was a close fight. There was some huge cannonball shot your way. And your ship's barely holding together at this point. But the bombard met its match as your Shrike ship slammed through the middle, carved the ship in half, and saved the Kindorei from the Gif whalers. GIF, not GIF. Some GIF refer to themselves as GIF, but we all know GIF is the correct way of saying that. Of course. And that is where we pick up today. You guys have just come out of a narrow victory. You saved a couple of Kindorei from the GIF whalers, and their ship has been torn apart in 3 different ways. So what would the Dawn's Eclipse like to do? I'm going to say that after some skillful piloting maneuvers, I'm gonna say Ed's like, "Oh man, that was really that took a lot out of me. I think I'm gonna like kind of step back as captain for a little while. You know what? Let's just call this like a little bit of a democracy just for a little bit. If you really need me, I'll just be here piloting the ship." And that will be sort of the captain's. He's like, "You guys handle
Aye,
yourselves
sir.
for a little bit." He says, "If you really need anyone, go talk to the quartermaster. He's a good guy." And he goes, "I come." So you guys can. He's like, "You guys handle yourselves if you really need input from like a commanding officer." He's like, "Just hit up Forkbeard." But anyway, you have one. What would you like to do?
Salvage the remains.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are there any like remaining GIF alive, or can we just help ourselves to their helm?
Yeah, if you why don't we go ahead and roll if you guys want to like begin a scavenging mission just to sort of pick apart the bones of the bombard, absolutely you can conduct that mission. Yes, Basan?
Bisan is going to step up and say, the remains will be here for a while. The Kindorei are fast. We should see if they are sick first. And we'll look at Joran Axbeard.
Okay, Jordan says, oi, it's a good assessment. Why don't we say, and he'll look around, he'll go, how about Chaplain and Laura? You two being the most medically inclined of the group, go take a look at them Kindorei, and the rest of you is, let's begin a little scavenging. How's that sound? So why don't we get a medicine check from you, Chaplain, and we'll do the same for Laura. What'd you get?
Oh, sorry. 23.
23. You look around all of them. You're looking for signs of excessive vegetation growing on their backs to see if their eye lights have gone out, if there's any ichor. But no, they seem to be healthy Kindorei. Nalara would agree with you and say, no,
These ones
they
look like
good.
they're okay.
Yeah, they look all right. So you two kind of assess, and Forkbeard goes, all right. The Kindorei sort of like cautiously are kind of like on the outskirts of you all. You get the sense that they're not sure if you're friend or foe. They're pretty sure you know what I mean. They're a little uncertain, but they're not running away. So like they're trying to feel you out, kind of. I'll say Alara sort of was like, it's all good, big whales. And she's gonna try like an animal. I don't know. She does some Feywild like dance on the front of the ship of like happiness or whatever. And she was pretty good, and she sort of draws in the Kindorei. She sort of like does like a really like friendly, like literally is like dancing on the front of the ship. And like little divine sparkles come off of her, and the Kindorei seem to are like she's got good moves. Okay, we can go say hi. And the Kindorei will sort of like come closer to the Shrike and kind of sort of like move around the ship and kind of almost play with your ship, bump your ship here and there, so your ship kind of wobbles here and there, and they will sort of come over and recognize you all as friendly saviors. Yeah, there will even be like a really cool instance where you kind of like touch their sides, they go by, and you can cry a little bit too because it's so sweet, so cool, as you've touched Celestial's hand. But yeah, anyway, to the scavenging, go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Celine's like, so I shouldn't send my elemental drakes to go like kill any of the survivors? Forkbeard's like,
Yes.
Okay.
yes,
We should kill the survivor. Yes, the gift or bad.
yes, yeah, they're bad. We don't need them for any reason. Might as well massacre them. Just okay.
Thank you.
And the drakes sort of through, and there's no. And they start just like a pack of savage wolves just start, any remaining gift survivors just start tearing them apart. Okay, yes, anybody who's on the investigation, let's go ahead and do a group investigation check to scavenge the ship for goods and supplies.
22.
Not
Okay, I got a
20, 23.
22. Ooh, 22. I got a 23. Who else? Basan. Epoxy.
4.
4. Hell yeah.
Not great. It's an 11.
11. And Laura and Basan are consumed. I'm gonna say Forkbeard is gonna remain on the ship, being the quartermaster and all. Who are all of these invisible people? I don't know why it's just so really missed. All right, you guys go looking over the ship, and you're gonna. Two of you really brought down the average, but the 4 of you all go looking around. I'm gonna say
There's nothing in the barrel of the gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you guys go look at the cannon, and it's fucked. It's snapped off, and the metal is warped, and it's not helpful. There's the giant cannonballs floating around. I think because I'm gonna say the captain being a good artificer, I'm gonna see if he knows if there can be sold for any amount of cashola, because they're big balls of metal. Let's see here. Cannonball hit point. We got shoulder cannonball. Holy fucking shit! He's like, yeah, no, load up every cannonball you can find. They're sold on the market for 1,000 a ball, so we could at least sell them for 500 a piece. So load up every cannonball you can find.
Don't mind if I do.
Yes, Basan.
Can Bisan use her telekinesis to put them underneath the ship? Because we've got the thing underneath the ship that for storage, right?
Yeah, you guys have like cargo bay doors essentially, so you can load them onto the ship. Absolutely. This says nothing about weight, but I imagine they weigh a lot. But it's not nothing near. I'm gonna say each one weighs a ton. I feel like that's fitting. A solid ball of metal, it's about the size of a car. That's a ton, seems fair. But luckily, your ship can hold a couple of those. Yeah, so you're good. So I am the quartermaster, so I will keep track of that. Okay, let me go down here. So cargo. With your, they're not hard to find. They're giant balls of metal. You guys find 5 cannonballs. So times 5, 1 ton each. So you find 5 bombard cannonballs. Incredible. You guys are going to find some rations for their crew. I'm going to say that is. I'm going to say that's enough with 10. What did you guys roll? You rolled an average of 15. It's pretty good. I'll say you find like, and the ship was ripped apart a bit, so I'll roll a dice here and see how many are left over. Oh shit! You found enough to feed your crew for an additional 8 days. So that's pretty dang good. As for material wealth, you are going to find another Spelljammer helm. So we'll put that in there, Spelljammer helm. You guys are going to find a number of crates of some kind of like almost partially glowing liquidy tar. So if anyone wants to make a nature check.
Yeah, sure. I'll look at that.
I'll do one for fun.
I have never seen anything like this in my life.
Nature?
Not one.
Not one. Nature.
You said nature?
Zalace, I'll give you advantage because of your background. But yes, nature check.
I got a
Zalace,
17.
17, good job.
I got a 15.
15, very good.
Yeah, 30, 20.
30, 20. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give Zalace the spotlight here because you are from sort of the darker part of the world.
Wow.
You guys look at this and you're like, I'm not really sure. You recognize that there's a couple of barrels of Kindorei spinal fluid, which is used in the creation of Spelljammer helms and is considered like an illicit substance, which is why you're aware of it per your background. So these guys got to a couple of maybe 1 or 2 Kindorei before you got to them, and so it's very valuable. It's probably worth.
How many barrels? 3.
Yeah, so 3. There's like 3 tubs of it, and you're aware that like each tub is probably worth like a quarter of the actual price of a Spelljammer helm, which is a couple thousand. Because it's the essential ingredient in its creation. Or actually, give me a second. Let me look. I need to. I want to get a more accurate price here, but let's take a look for a second. Oh boy, Spelljammer. Just look over here. Give me magic. There it is. Sorry, I'll have it in T-minus 5 seconds. Oh, damn you. Okay, there we are. Yeah, each barrel is worth 2,500 GP.
Are they contaminated?
Oh, very good question. Make me a medicine check. Very good question.
No, 5.
5? Tough
Yeah.
to say.
Yep.
I'll say that
I'll ask,
you're uncertain though. Like you're uncertain.
I'll ask one of the medic types, healer types, to have a look.
Okay. Chaplain, if you'd like to take a swing at it, medicine check.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'll take a look. Oh, 8.
8. Not sure. I will have. Ilara has been having prepared detect poison and disease. She'll ping that off, and she'll do a little divine sense for extra certainty. No, they're all good. She does a number of magical tests, and she's fairly certain that they are not contaminated.
So just to put it out there and we can park it for later, could we use that spinal fluid as in the healing of these? Like make it, use the spinal fluid, get the remedy into that and pass it on through that? Would that help?
Make me an Arcana check if you would like to know if you could do something like this.
Yeah, so just make sure if we could use the spinal fluid in the aid of making the antidote or whatever it is.
Okay, yeah, go for
it. So sorry, what check did you want? That was a 15 on the
15 on the die. I misinterpreted the question, so I'm going to say roll. We'll call out a medicine check as well.
So that's 17 total.
17 total? Yeah, you're pretty sure. This is in the healing. You're not certain, but if you brought this to an alchemist, it would probably be very helpful. At least worth trying to figure that out before getting rid of it. There's a very high chance. Are you proficient with medicine? Are you proficient with it? No? So you're it's gotta be helpful, is what you tell yourself in your mind.
Okay, no, that's fine.
All right, but you got. I will say, those of you who are proficient with Arcana, no roll required. Anyone proficient with Arcana, which I believe is Etherith, Epoxy, it seems.
Oh, no, I was kidding. Sorry.
No? Okay, so Etherith, you would know that this spinal fluid, you could use it to create the magical rods that function as the material component to creating Spelljammer helms, which sell for big bucks. So the material component for the create Spelljammer helm spell is a crystal rod worth at least 5,000 GP, and this each of these barrels represents the material cost to create that rod.
Oh.
So if anyone proficient with Arcana could spend a little bit of time and turn these into those rods and then create Spelljammer helms and then sell the helms for probably 4 times the current price.
Zelace, I agree. Your suggestion to use this fluid as a means to cure the Kindorei is an excellent idea. I would ask that you allow me to keep 1 crate of it for my own use. This is incredibly valuable stuff that with my arcane skills could turn into a great investment.
Well, to be fair, just an idea, and it's up to everybody, I suppose, what we do with it and how we make this work.
Save the whales. If anything's left, Ethera.
Excellent.
Last thing you're going to find on the ship is... Oh, actually, there's two last things. The first is just material wealth. You find about 5,000 GP in gold pieces, just in flat material wealth aboard the ship. The last thing, and I rolled for it, which you guys got very, very lucky on a nat 20 about, you find large stores of gunpowder, which could have very easily gone off during your ramming of the ship and like exploded and damaged you and their ship more. But by a stroke of luck, like literally, like the door and the front wall of the gunpowder room was ripped off in the crash, but not a single barrel got scathed. It was a 1 in 20 chance that this this happened. So the gunpowder stores are still in decent repair. You kind of got away on that front by a great deal of luck. And I need to get you some gunpowder prices here because they've got a lot of it, because they have to feel that big fucking cannon over there to make it happen.
Are there individual GIF with weapons that could be sold? Because aren't guns expensive?
I'm gonna say with the 15 per the like scattering of everything, I'm gonna say the GIF are a little scattered and their individual weapons are kind of get lost to wild space. With a 15, I'm afraid to say. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of gunpowder. So you guys find a number of gunpowder kegs. They had 5 cannonballs left. And then there was their own weapons to fill. I'm going to say you guys find 10 gunpowder kegs. Each is worth 250 gold.
10?
10. All in, like, almost perfect condition.
Load them up. Taking these to the ship. Oh my god.
Keg. 250 GP each. They weigh 20 pounds each. And that was times 10 of them. Yeah, you guys made out pretty good on this little... Who said pirating isn't a great... I mean, you were pirating the pirates, so it was legal and everything. But who's to say pirating isn't a very wealthy endeavor?
I feel like nobody said it wasn't wealthy.
Yeah, very lucrative.
Anyone ever said that?
No, that's true. Nobody did, but I mean, maybe you guys are like looking through this ship that you've destroyed, and you're like, hey,
Maybe pirating isn't bad.
Hey, if we take the hard-earned money of other individuals, we could be rich. I'm sure the thought crosses all of your minds, whether it's like but we're not that kind of people, or I could be that kind of people. Yeah. I imagine Zalae's going around being like, I'm just saying.
I think the barrels of spinal fluid make Bisan really sad.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially considering, like, as you're unloading them, you see those like big, beautiful Kindorei sort of floating around your ship happily, sort of sort of happy, thankful.
That's very like. Oh God, this is morbid. How many Kindorei does Bisan think they would have killed? She doesn't have medicine. Like, I'm sure it's going to be a roll, but
yeah, make me a nature or medicine check.
About 3.
I'm positive that's going to be a nature check. That's a 12.
That's a 12. You think this represents like either one really big Kindorei or 2 of them? It would have to be bigger than like the guys who are around here that are hanging out with you right now. So you think probably about two of them.
Yeah, Bisan is moving cannonballs. She looks disturbed. She looks unhappy.
It's not great. It's a little disturbing. Yeah, and you guys have heard a little bit about Kindorei whaling, and you know, like, this is the only valuable asset is their spinal fluid. So when they whale a Kindorei, and they like because it's celestial, you can't eat the meat, or that would like basically taint your body, kind of thing. To like it's like drinking the blood of unicorns kind of situation. You'll be a cursed individual. So you can't eat the meat of a Kindorei. So the only thing you can really take from them is the spinal fluid. So you know that like they kill them, the only thing they take from them is their spinal fluid, and then they leave the rest of their entire bodies floating around. It's not even like an honorable hunter thing where you take everything you can from it for the survival of your people. The only thing that's valuable is their fluid, is their spinal fluid. So a lot is wasted. And I'll say at this point, as you guys finish loading up all this cargo, probably takes a while. With the fucking kegs and everything, I'll say like Bason, yeah, you have telekinesis and whatnot, but it's space, so you can use it, but it's very like you gotta like it's very like you gotta build up the momentum very slowly and then roll it, and once the momentum gets going, there's no stopping it with your telekinesis, so it's a very delicate process, but you can. And that goes for everybody else. Anybody else can sort of try and roll them around. You'll get it figured out eventually. It's going to be more of the ship actually like backing up towards it and then pushing it into the hull.
My girl needs to practice.
I have mage hand as well, so I can like act as a counter push as well to like make sure provide resistance when needed.
Yeah, I have no doubt it can be achieved. I have no doubt you guys are going to figure it out. No rolls required. I'm actually going to say that while I'm going to say this takes like, this probably takes an hour scavenging. I'm going to call it 2. There's the actual finding of everything and then the moving of everything. I'm going to say it's like 2 hours. Also like battering down and like tying everything down. It takes about 2 hours. During that time, my good bosun chaplain, you and the captain could go and do a little bit of work on getting the hull fixed up. So I'm going to pull up Ed George's sheet because he was saying he has a specific function for aiding in the fixing as well.
All right.
Yes, he has patch up work because he took a feat. This is during a long rest, so he can't do anything as of yet, but he can eventually. So yes, Chaplain, what would you like to do to try and aid in the fixing of the ship?
Let's see.
I know you got mending, and that could be done once an hour. So you got 2 of those.
I don't know if this counts toward repairs. It doesn't specifically say that, but it says due to ship expert, when installing new equipment or upgrades on the ship, I count as 2 members of a workforce instead of 1. So I will be working as quickly as I can to mend and patch those areas that seem the most vital to the integrity of the hull.
Got it. So we'll say that you can put double the power of mending into it. Fixing or upgrading sounds fair enough. So why don't you roll me for mending? I can give you the stats on those if you require.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let me pull that up real quick. Let's see here. Mending. Here we are. So that's 1d8 plus your spell casting ability modifier. So I believe that's wisdom. So.
Yep. So that's a +4 for those. So 1d8 plus 4 times 4.
1d8 plus 4 times 4. It's you get your wisdom mod for every instance of the casting.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So let's see.
I'm gonna say I don't know. Does anyone have the specific number of how much damage was taken? I know that the captain had that number. I think it was close to 50 left.
Yeah, I think he said we were down to about 50.
If I remember
Give me
correctly,
a moment. I wrote it down.
54.
I think it's 54. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it. I just have to find it. But I honestly think it is 54.
Yeah.
I was able to mend 31.
Okay. 31. I'm gonna get my hummingbird back out, and that is where I'll track the hit points. Cool. New minis.
54. Found it. 54. We have 54 points remaining.
54. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think he said that if he did his feat, he could heal at least half the ship's worth. Or
Yeah, he needs to take a long rest though to do that.
Yeah, we can do it tonight.
All right, so this will represent the Shrike ship. Shrike, you guys had 250. You were, oh, that's 150. 250. So you had 54 hit points left. How much healing did you do there, Chaplain?
31.
31. Very good.
We were at 54?
We were at 54, and then you healed. No. Yeah, we were pretty.
I thought we were at 54 damage. Okay.
No, you guys got it. It was a close call. Was there anything else you had to provide other than just the mending? If you wanted, you could repair 1 hit point of damage to a birthed ship. The ship is not birthed. Okay, so unless you have any other special features for healing, that will be that.
I don't. Not in it. I mean, that pretty much covers it. What's our atmosphere right now? Like, what's around us? What's our environment?
You guys are just kind of out in wild space. There's no.
Okay.
There's nothing solid. I'll roll for it then. Yeah, you guys are just kind of out in sort of wild space. There's nothing solid around to land on. I believe you guys were pretty deep into the space between the inner and outer planets. Here we are. Okay. Cool. Let's see, where was left of your journey? Gotta try and interpret my scratch notes here. Okay, cool, got it. All right, sweet. After those 2 hours, the Kindorei have started to float away, started to swim away, sort of returning to flying back out to wild space. I will say that your paladin has healed the one Kindorei that was whaled pretty bad to some degree. Yeah, is there anything else you guys would like to do around here as you strip them? Oh, there is worth noting, they do have ballista on the ship. Let's see how they're functioning. They do have 2 ballistas. You guys want to load those ballistas onto your ship and sell those?
Yeah, because I think one of ours got damaged, didn't it, as well?
What was jammed,
Yeah.
I think.
It was jammed. I will say that Chaplain has fixed that by now. It's all good. But yeah, you guys can load 2 additional ballista into your stores.
Any bolts with them?
Let's see if they got any ammo. They do have ammo. I'm gonna say they did shoot. That's a good point. The ballista, there is ammo, so I'm gonna say they have 20 ballista shots each, but they also have harpoons, which is a different type of ballista which they were using to shoot and harpoon the actual Kindorei. And they will have, we're gonna say 15, we'll say they have 10 each. They have 10 each because they've already used a bunch of them. 20 ballista ammo, and then they have times harpoon. Okay, there, that's officially the end of what they got. All right, you guys want to continue your voyage now that you've dealt with this matter?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
we still don't know how to heal. Like, we know how to heal individual Kindorei. And we know that we have the new magical whale goo, and somebody might be able to turn that into something helpful. Do we have any other ideas about how to deal with the plague in general?
Well, I think the idea is go to garden, find an alchemist, and go from there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you flattened it.
Yeah, I'm just getting rid of the other ship. I'll get into like a proper deleting later.
Is that ship had a mangonel? Is that?
No, it didn't have a mangonel.
All right.
It had a giant cannon instead, so it's a little.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And the Kindorei have left the party. They have gone back to being whales. Okay. So you wish to continue your voyage? Let's see here. Do I have some notes about how long the voyage would take? Okay, party set up to find. You hired the cook Thelma. All right, I just got to retrace my steps here a little bit. My apologies. Because you meant to go to Garden. You left Toril on 166. It's now 172. So you've been traveling for 14 days. Garden is. No. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So the party sets out to find Kindorei. 166 for 72. Toril is 2 days from the sun. So it means 10 days. We'll keep it easy and say you guys have 3 days. Yeah, that sounds about right. You have 3 days left to get to Garden. 3 days more travel. And you're already halfway through the first of those 3 days. Okay. Let's get rolling. All right, you guys get back out to sea. You get back out to sea. You guys fly past another ship who just kind of waves as they go by. We'll say it's like a hammerhead, which looks like to be some kind of merchant vessel, and it just kind of waves as it goes by, waves the sign of like neutrality basically, and you guys sail on by. And then you guys can settle in. So I'm going to say that's 4 more rolls, Chaplain, of your healing. So that'll be 8 technically, because you're such a proficient guy at all of this healing. And that will complete your day. And then I'll give you another 4 for the night, because you only need. How many hours of rest do you need, Chaplain? You need like 6, right?
6, yeah.
6. So I'll give you 4 more rolls of mending. And Ed, when he finishes his long rest, to 10 times his intelligence modifier for half the normal repair cost. The vehicle regains number of hit points equal to. So that will be his intelligence, 10 times his intelligence. So that's easy. That's 40 healing for half the cost, which is which is 20 points. So he did 40. It's going to cost 80 GP for Mr. Artificer to do some repairs.
I guess I'll just flip the bill for now.
I was going to say I can dump some in. So,
well, you can take it out of the gold that you got from the.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
That guy shit. Okay, cool.
yeah.
And that.
So let me go delete that from in there, because you guys picked up 500 GP. You're taking 80 out of it. Got it.
Wait, I thought it was 5,000.
I thought it was.
Yeah, it was 5,000. So you're now down to 4,920.
That quartermaster's trying to do is out of money. Yeah,
He's running around with like a sketch, like a book. He's got like little spectacles on the end of his nose, and every time someone walks by, he like takes the spectacles off and like hides them. But you all know it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you
88.
guys, 88. Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Another 88 healing, and Ed's healing represents another 40 points of healing. Yeah, your ship's almost back to full repair. You guys are doing pretty good. Okay, you guys will. That is day 3. You've got another. I'm gonna just save you some time, Chaplain. You guys travel for another 16 hours, and at that point, the ship's healed. It's
Okay.
we're doing all good, and you guys don't run into anything out there. So by the time, it's looking a little busted up. Like the finish and the aesthetics of the ship are a little looking like it's seen some battle. It looks like it's definitely been tethered together by magic. And like it looks like, and it shows like mending sort of binds things together. Like it doesn't like put the boards back together in like perfect lines. So there's like portions of the ship where it looks like all the wood is like twisted back together in a way. So your ship looks like it's undergone some like heavy mending patchwork. So it aesthetically looks like it's been in a couple fights. Which, hey, up to you guys. That could look really cool. Your ship looks like it's got some battle scars, but it's back to full health. You guys sleep soundly on day 2, and as day 3 emerges, no encounters, and you guys are going to arrive at Garden. Thanks to Etherith, you guys meet the planet as it's going through its rotation to come towards you. And let's see what Garden looks like. Let me pull up Garden.
Oh boy.
Garden's
With all
cool.
the moons.
Yeah, Garden's kind of a cool planet, in my opinion. Okay. I am going to put a picture of Garden up in Roll20 if anyone was curious to see what Garden looks like. Let's see here.
Okay, now living world.
It is a living world, and allow me to describe it. You come to the 7th planet orbiting the sun of realm space, and here you find an enormous planet that does not at all look like a planet. It more looks like a cluster of numerous earthly bodies lying relatively close together, anchored by the roots of a colossal plant. Colossal enough to be the size of an actual planet, all sharing a common atmosphere, asteroids making up the bulk of the planet that revolve around this giant rooted like mega plant. To actually fly towards the center of the planet would require some significant maneuvering from any spacefaring pilot. But the outer planets are a little bit easier to approach. And indeed, Forkbeard will say, all right, I imagine we want to touch down in Far World and sell some of our goods. That is where the majority of standard trade practice actually happens here in Garden. And Templar, the world thereafter, is where mages do their trade. Anything after is, well, it's up to you if you want to get closer. And that's just kind of what that's the extent of my knowledge. Is the trading happens on Far World. If you want to deal with mages, that's Templar. That is the next moon in. So is that the plan?
I think
That
so
sounds good.
yeah.
Okay. You guys fly down into orbit onto the moon known as Far World. As you descend down, come on now, laddie, work with me. Oh god, sorry, my tabs are all flying all over the place. Here we are. As you make your way down to Far World, allow me to explain what it looks like. It's not a giant moon. It's probably only close to 100 miles in diameter. And you see a number of like little spots of trade posts along the surface. It has It is a largely inhabited world. You get the sense the trading posts themselves hold their own supplies. You know, not a lot of vegetation to be grown here. It is a moon. But a surprisingly large amount of individuals have made their way there. And as you fly on the Shrike ship, many of you work together to sort of turn out the landing gear, and these feet sort of come out, and you touch down on the planet surface. You have come to there we go. Multitasking is only good to some extent. You guys come to this rocky formation that looks like as much of a mountain as you can get on such a small planet. And you, where are you? Oh, where is it? Come on, Far World.
It seems to be
There it is.
There it is.
I'm gonna go rally that all up. You guys come to Far World. And you have landed here. There's a number of ships landed around, and you guys make your way up the rocky path and into this sort of tavern side trading post built into the mountain. I'm just going to spin around so you can see its interior. And you come into this, it's got a, what is it called? I think it's called Mosalis, the hive of scum and villainy, as it's put in Star Wars. In Tatooine, this is where Ben Kenobi and Luke come to, where it's like, it's part tavern, part trading post. And you don't know if everyone here is like disreputable, but it's got that look of a place where, yeah, indeed, it's a tavern where you can get a drink and a place to stay for the night. But it is definitely a place of business, first and foremost, where you see many traders coming together, talking about resources and such. Maybe you all sit down and Fork Beard will buy you guys a round of drinks, feeling a little bit of a responsibility for you all, considering he's the main man here. And he says, "All right, so worth asking, I suppose. We've got cargo here to sell. I think that is what I'm happy to handle. But let me ask what it is you intend to actually sell from the stores. So let me start. We're going to sell the cannonballs, I assume. Giant bombard cannonballs. Right? He nods largely. I will sell that. Work on selling that. The Spelljammer helm from the bombard.
I would be fine to sell that. I don't think we have any immediate use for it.
I've got a spare one anyway, haven't we? Have we not?
All right.
Do we have a
I
spare?
think
That's what I'm
No.
I think
asking.
we
Do
sold
have
it.
a spare?
we sold it on with the last ship that we sold. We put
yeah.
it on there to sell the ship. So I mean, given our previous history with ships, it might be worth it to keep an extra Spelljammer helm on board just to be able to use it. In case one of ours goes bad.
I think we should have
I
one.
don't think that's a thing.
No, but sometimes our ships break and we've needed a spare. We should have a spare.
Yeah.
Well,
Or in case we find a disabled ship and we need to apply a Spelljammer to it in order to get it back. That's what we did last time.
It was
that is
helpful.
true.
We made money with that.
Also true.
Well, we got plenty of things here to make money, so why don't we circle back to the Spelljammer helm once we've gone through everything else. There is wisdom in having a spare one laying around in case something happens, but we will turn to that topic momentarily. I'm going to say Celine is going to stay aboard the ship with Ed. Keep an eye on things. It says, all right, so maybe keeping the spin. What about the barrels of fluid? He kind of like looks around.
Hang on to those.
Yeah, we're keeping those 3 barrels. All right. How about the gunpowder cakes?
We can sell that.
Yep.
Right,
We'll
so
sell those, right? Yep.
sell the gunpowder kegs. All right, I'll sell all 10 of them. There will be 2 functioning ballistas. We want to sell those as well.
Yeah, sell the
Yeah.
ballistas, keep the ammo.
Right. He's making little marks down on his sheet as he goes. Definitely not me making little marks, but character. Um, keeping the fluid for now. Obviously, we're keeping the material wealth. We're going to sell the 2 ballistas. I imagine we'll be keeping the ballista ammo for ourselves. I imagine. And last but not least, what about the whaling harpoons?
Well, we're not going to use unless we can change them into something else that would benefit us, as in, I don't know, like a grappling hook harpoon or something like that against other ships if we're boarding. I don't know.
Well,
can we use maybe
that's
something
their
else?
they're used for these ones specifically are used for whaling, but I imagine you could use them if you meant to attach them to an enemy ship. I imagine they'd function similarly. The only difference is that they have a shorter range than regular harpoons, so a tad bit heavier, and they have more hooks and such. But they could do damage like any ballista, but they would hook. So if you wanted to keep them and use them as sort of a boarding tool, entirely possible.
Yeah, I mean, this place is a bit of a trading post, right? Maybe there's a metal worker around here somewhere that we could trade the remainder of the harpoons just to ensure that they're melted down and have a couple of grappling hooks fashioned for our own ship.
All right. So sell the harpoons and purchase actual grappling hooks instead.
Yeah, whatever, I guess whatever works out
I like knowing
the-
that they're melted.
All right, fair enough. I'll sell them for scraps. We won't make as much money, but they'll certainly get knocked down.
Thank you.
All right, sell for scrap. And you guys wish for the purchase of grappling hooks. Is there anything else I should be purchasing on mass for our ship while we're here?
How are we doing for food supply?
We are doing quite well, considering we picked up another 8 days rations from the Bombard. Let's see here. Run out. Give me a moment. He's doing a little calculations here. Plus 8, 16, he says, we are not going to run out for quite some time. We're looking pretty good. We won't run out for more than 15, about 19 days of food left we got. So we're doing pretty good.
Very well.
We're also here. We can also pick up some stuff before we leave back into wild space. Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
I mean, I individually need to stop by and top off my medical kit too.
Oh, I assume you all have personal purchases to make. But is there anything else for the ship that I need to be purchasing? Just the grappling hooks, right? Fantastic. Do you want to divvy out the? We'll do all that at the end once I've made all of my sales. All right. Off I go. We'll call this a little shore leave. Obviously, as we've all said, keep a mind out for particularly proficient alchemists and herbalists, and see if they can't produce something. All right. And he'll kind of stand up, and he will begin to sort out the buying and selling of all these things, which will surely take till the end of it. This is a lot of gear you want sold here, so I'm going to get to work on that. But yeah, please let me know if there's anything you want to do, and I'll do a little bit of multitasking while we go.
I would like Epoxy to scout around for any secret passages.
Secret passages? To where?
Out of this area in case of potential threats come about.
Yeah, sure. Make me
Or
a
finding cults.
or or finding cults. That's right. Roll me an investigation check to see if you can find any like secret passages.
I'm not. I got a 3.
People are like, what's that one doing over there? People are like see a Pocky like in corners and like poking bricks
Just
on the
banging
wall,
walls every now and
banging
then, just going
walls,
boom.
really making a display of themselves. But like with a 3, like nobody knows what you're doing. Like nobody could look at you right now and be like, are they looking for secret passages? Nobody knows. So like, I'm probably malfunctioning, I guess. They have no with a 3, like your method is of finding like secrets and traps is so horrifically bad that no one even guesses what you're looking for or what you're doing.
I tried using the bad dice. It did not work out.
Who else has stuff to do?
Does there look like there is any Thieves Guild markings or anything like that around about?
Yeah, make me a perception or investigation check for any signs of thieving.
Right now. That was a 9 for a 12.
A 12 is enough. In every port, there's someone who's skimming off the top, and you think you find a couple of individuals who are sitting. So you know that there's like, actually, this is a fun time to pull this out, and I need to send this to you if I haven't already, Solace. But I have a little Thieves' Cant document. I don't know. Did I ever send that to you?
No.
No, I will now. Just something fun to look over. But keep it secret. Keep it safe. Don't tell anybody because it's your secret language. I'll send it to you now, actually, before I proceed. All right. Coming your way in Facebook. Okay, cool. Let's take a look here. So you find, let's take a look. You find a couple of individuals that are wearing 2 parallel bands. Basically, so you know when people like have the 2 rings, like they have like 2 rings in their ear or whatever. You know that's Thieves' Cant. That's a sign. So you see a couple people who have the 2 band either ring or bangle, either in the ear or the finger or something. You find one. You find like there's a group of people that have like a double bangle around the right bicep. There's a group of people with that. There is a couple people with them around the left wrist, as well as the right wrist. There's some rings on the left thumb. And that's... you see 1 or 2 people with some double bands on the right pinky as well, if you're keeping up.
I'm looking. Yep, it's fine.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's what you find for the most part.
So you did say the right bicep, didn't you?
That's right. Mostly the right bicep, in fact.
Okay. So I would like to enter a conversation, but if you want to let someone else do that, I'm just going to have a quick look at this and then...
Yeah, take a quick look. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's get to some mischief. Incredible. Who else has things for me? They want to do a round board.
Is there somebody who runs this place?
Yeah, sure. Of course there is. You find there's a tavern keep that I need to get ready for you. Let's see here. There's a tavern keeper around here who is fixing some drinks and looks to be in charge of everything. Oh, here we go. And he will look down at you and say, Well, hello there. What can I get you? You see this like older man with mutton chops. He's a little strange, maybe a little fey looking. We'll say he looks kind of pretty much like that, cloven hooves. He goes, "Well, what can I get you there, young lad?"
Oh, well, I don't particularly individually need anything at all, but I've never been here before. I was wondering if you could tell me about this place a little bit.
Oh, I see. I see. I could tell you a little bit about my personal outpost I set up here. Well, I didn't set up here. It was a generational family thing, but I'm one of the lucky enough who gets to use this place. We call it Chivalry's Rest. A little bit of a fun pun. I'm sure you can tell that we serve all types here. Let me put it that way. What else can I do for you? Chivalry's Rest is open to you, my friend. You want food, bed, rest, work? Got it all.
Oh, really? I didn't expect that. What kind of work do you have?
All kinds of it. Mostly two types of work. Shipping goods, mercantile and such. So if you are crewed to a ship who has a bit of extra cargo space, little delivery fee will never go wrong. We also have individuals who require transport off-world. Those are the two major businesses we do out in the open.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not qualified individually to make judgments on that, but we do have a ship, and we may be looking. We may be able to help you out with cargoing something somewhere.
Splendid. Well, you go tell your captain if they're looking to take on any sort of VIP individuals who want transport, maybe to the inner or outer worlds. You come let me know, and if you got extra cargo space, you'll find no shortage of merchants who might need those goods.
All right, sounds good. And you said you have food and bed as well.
Oh, yes, indeed. If you wanted to stay the night, we do indeed carry food. This is also a tavern as well as a place of business.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, well, I will meet back with the group and let everyone know the services that are available here. Thank you.
Of course, laddie, of course. And he will sort of go tend to another person. He seems to be a very busy individual.
All right, so I'll make my way back to the group and let them know that there are opportunities for shuttling both people and goods, and there is food and bed available here.
All right. Okay, so you guys are only going to make a gold off of every harpoon that you sell for scrap, so that's going to come down to... All right. Is there anybody else?
This is more just kind of like Etherith being like, I don't know, academic, I guess. He's gonna
Sure.
he's gonna be sat in the ship examining the orrery, and I just want to know like how much do I know about the Garden's moons, like each sort of individual celestial body.
Okay, make me a nature or history check just for like a general overview of each world.
Yeah,
Very general.
that is 16.
A 16. Yeah, you'll have a very general understanding of each world. But as you lock on to each plan, if you want to know more, we'll do separate checks. But for general overview, we will start from outer and go inner. So you are on Farworld, which is considered the major trading post of Farworld, and they deal mostly in non-magical goods. Anything that's non-magical you can probably find here. A lot of trade runs through here. The next is the world Templar. It is, I believe, it's a size B planet, which means that it is smaller than Farworld, but it's where hundreds of mages of various disciplines study Garden, so it's a lot of academics who come to study the place itself. They're financed by they finance the producing and selling of magic items, mostly. The next is it's a size C planet, so bigger than Templar, about the same size as Farworld. It is essentially like a moon, or excuse me, a sun unto itself. It's very small. It's only about 1,000-mile diameter, but the whole planet produces fire. It's perpetually on fire, and it's about twice as hot as the sun. So it produces a lot of light and a lot of life. Next is it is known as Kindorei, which is made entirely of marble of various colors. Chunks are missing. They say that there's like a marble ooze that flows across the planet, much like water to a Earth-like planet. A lot of people go there who are like artists. It's a very artistic planet. There is Dragon Rock, which is roughly in the shape of a dragon, which is thus its name. So it's, moon colored, but it's in the shape of a dragon. They say long ago it was created by a mage by the name of Darkin. Created by a mage named Darkin of. Apparently, they say that he delved into the moon and found great secrets deep within. But it looks white, but it is entirely made of white jade, and has a very thin atmosphere, so it is hard to breathe there. The next planet is Laki, which is completely without an atmosphere. So it is no gravity, no atmosphere whatsoever, but it is rectangular, though the corners are chipped and edged. The next moon is Fjord, which is, again, a void world, has no atmosphere, but they say it is a great mining colony. There is Glorianus, which is very small and is completely covered in small, soft green grass and is shaped like a crescent moon. There's rumors that some kind of great druid lives there. There is Ritani, which is a moon that resembles an eyeball because it has a large crater in it that sort of makes it look like an eyeball, and that's it. They say that a unique fungus grows within that crater as well that might be used for the preparation of spells and potions. There is a planet called Piakian, which is once served as an outpost for spacefaring elves, specifically from the Elven Armada during the Unhuman War, but it has been long since deserted, so nobody really goes there. There is Yurthad. Let's see here. An extremely toxic and caustic world, primarily sulfuric acid consists of its atmosphere. The moon also has a sea of acid, so you need to be very well equipped to go there because you're probably going to get a damaged ship. And then lastly, we have Grandchild, which is an off-white surface that is plenty smooth, without any meteoric pock marks on it, so it doesn't look like it's taken any meteorite damage. It reflects the light eerily, and some say that's when the colossal fauna in the center, which is known as Yggdrasil's child, dies. They think a Grandchild is going to replace it somehow, but nobody's really figured out how that life cycle works. And then, as I've said, of course, the center of the planet is the colossal planet known as Yggdrasil's child, which is a massive, fine, wood-based planet core. And that is generally how Yggdrasil, or how Garden works. And then there's the asteroid belt, of course, that makes it hard to fly through. The deeper you go, the harder it is to get there. And that's that. They say a lot of naturalists come here because there's no actual, on no planets is there actually a place where spelljammers can land safely. It's very much like find the best place to land and hope for the best, which is why a lot of naturalists like to go to Garden to get away from the spelljamming community. So it is very much a place for naturalists. Okay, so we will say that comes also from asking around a little bit here and there for those extra details, Etherith, but largely you know this from your own content.
Okay.
Okay, who else has got something? Hassan, did you have something you wanted to do?
Hassan would have been the last to exit the ship And as soon
Okay.
as the original meeting was done, she would have gone back to the ship because she's not leaving the captain without a bodyguard.
Celine is there if you wanted to.
And
Celine and Alara would be there as well.
Alara is there.
Yeah, Celine and Alara.
Etherith is technically there because he's sat in his room examining,
Etherith is there as well.
pondering the orb.
Yeah, no, Bisan would have still gone back to the ship, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I'm gonna come back to you on the ship because there is something that's gonna happen with you. But I want to come back to our thieves' camp friend here. Zlace, how are you feeling? What's going on over there?
Can you give me another couple of minutes?
Yes, of course.
I'm getting
No, take your time. I will be, just to be clear, I am not fluent in thieves' camp per this, but I've looked at it enough that I could probably keep up. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to Basan then if that's the case. If you're there, Basan. No, left us behind. Cool. Etherith, let me ask you guys. I kind of modified the Shrike ship to look how I want it to look. But what deck do you guys consider your room, or where are you staying to do your stuff?
If I'm pondering the orb, I'll probably be near. I keep the orb near, like where the spelljamming helm is. I'll probably be like
On the bridge.
On the bridge, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Basan, where are you on the ship generally?
Honestly, I isn't there like an area where like they eat and such?
Yeah, there's a companionway which is below the bridge.
Yeah, wherever they like normally, I think there's an area where they hang out, and that's where like the Spelljammer has to be, and that's like sort of like their break room, as it were. I think that Bisan would be in there.
Got it. And I will say, and this goes for the whole crew, is a detail I forgot to put along, is by the time you got to Garden, I'm gonna just double check the rules there so I'm not making any mistakes here. Yes. Half a moment. Okay, here we go. Okay. So you guys have never really had a problem with the air quality of your ship before, but around the end of the ship here, your air wasn't fouled. Not by a long shot even, but very quickly your air envelope has begun to start to smell like tobacco, especially below decks per Delma. It wouldn't be much, like every time like the door, like your food has a little bit of like kind of like an ashy tobacco-y taste to it. Like the food's fine, other than that there's like a bit of like a taste of like it's not so good. And every time like the door of the galley opens, there's like a gray smoke that floods out. The below decks just smell of like that stale smoke smell. But around the time that you got to Garden, you got your air envelope refreshed with Garden. The whole air envelope was starting to smell like tobacco, like old stale tobacco smoke around the end there. Like not enough to foul it, but you know. I'm sure Chaplain and Apoxy didn't mind, but everybody else just starting to like, or maybe you don't mind, maybe you don't care, but you were starting to. Yeah, Zalace doesn't care, but you were starting to notice it. Anyway, Basan, you are going to be the one to notice this perving in the companionway. You hear coughing below deck. It's not Thelma's coughing, but there's sort of like a really like chest like phlegmy cough, and it's just kind of like it keeps going. It's just like this, like it's like every couple of minutes, or not a couple of minutes, every couple of seconds. Honestly, every like 20-30 seconds. Coming from one of the rooms.
I will go investigate.
Okay, you go investigating. No real hard check required. You are going to come to the door of steerage, which you know Ilara stays at. The door is a little cracked, and if you open the door, you're going to see a very pale, sickly Ilara laying in her bed, coughing. She does not look good. She looks very sick.
Bisan steps back immediately, closes the door, and goes to find Etherith.
All right, you go to find Etherith. Not hard to find. You make your way up the companionway ladder, where you see Etherith sort of into
I'm going to be careful to stay like 10 feet away from him. From him.
Etherith. Yeah.
Etherith.
It's all good.
And say, the paladin is very sick.
Well, that's ridiculous. Paladins can't get sick.
The paladin is very sick, deathly sick.
If this like says like this face of like complete, the words paladin and sick just don't quite match up.
No.
Etherith, we are dealing with healing sick things. The healer of sick things has taken sick. Can you call everyone back?
Yes, of course. It's really bad, isn't it? She's not remotely well.
No.
Is she?
And it could be contagious.
Very well. I'll head out and try to gather everyone. We'll have to cordon off the lower decks then. No one's to go down there.
What do you want me to do? Shall I go down?
Get the cook up here so that because otherwise she's going to be exposed as well, and then we'll out of our options, my best idea is rumor has it there is a druid that lives on one of Garden's moons, so we can try there, but beyond that, if the paladin is sick, we may need to take a precaution.
We may all be sick. We may all be sick and have just spread it. We've all been breathing the same air in the same air envelope.
Okay, let's just if we are all sick, then we're all dead. So let's not jump to the worst case scenario immediately, and let's actually work on a solution.
I agree.
So let me gather everyone, and we will work on a solution. I'm not one for sitting by and accepting doom.
I agree.
And Etherith heads out.
All right, you head out. Where do you intend to go, Bisan?
Bisan is going to call down to Thelma.
Okay.
And tell Thelma to come up, but will not go below deck.
Thelma, she's like, all right, if that's what you want. And she'll come up top deck. Yeah, and she'll be curious. She'll be like, so why? What I got things to cook, sweetheart. Why am I doing up here?
Let's wait for the rest of the crew to gather for a brief.
Fine, I'll just go have a little smoke break, and she'll go out onto the top deck and light another cigarette, hand-rolled cigarette. Cool, so cool. All right, so yeah, there she is. She's right there now. We're gonna say like Ed was sleeping in his quarters or just chilling in his quarters, so maybe you call him up too. He's on the deck. All right, so you guys head in. What was that?
I will brief Ed as to why I've called him out of his chambers.
Understood. He goes, well, that doesn't sound very good. And we will get to everybody else. So as you guys are kind of, or let's hit Zalace, are you good for your thing now, or? Yeah, okay. So let's hit Zalace before Ethrith gets there. Zalace, what do you get up to?
So I'll walk up to one of the guys on the with the right bicep.
Got it.
And just say, hi, has there been any trouble? I'm a brother from another coast. Yeah, I'm just wondering whether there's a garden party going.
Okay. Ooh, you're good at this already. Could you? Okay, hit me with that again. Hit me with that again.
So, hi, has there been any trouble?
Yeah, I got that part.
I'm a brother from the coast.
A brother from the coast. Give me a moment. That's cool.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, okay.
And I'm looking for a garden party.
Looking for a garden. Okay. They go, oh, you're looking for a garden party, are you? Sounds like. And he's going to say, he says, well, let me ask, you got trouble for me, or do I have trouble for you?
No, trouble for me.
Ah, trouble for you. Oh, we got trouble plenty around here. We love getting in all kinds of trouble, or getting out of it anyway. Were you feeling, how long have you been, before let's do the pleasantries, how long have you been planet-side? Weeks, months, years?
Weeks.
Weeks? All right. Let's see here. All right, well, in the measure of good health, we would be more than happy to, help reunite some children with their parent, or some children, that's all. Just reunite some children, if that's what you're feeling. Let's see here, what we got for you. Oh boy. This is where we're gonna get a little fancy. Obviously, we like to keep things intimate. Obviously, we got a visitor for you. Let's see here. A little garden party work over there. There was a garden party over there. And all you need to do is, go find your way all the way back to the Rock of Brawl, and I'm sure you'll make out over there just fine. How's that all sound? Or you'll say, make your way over to the Rock of Brawl, if that's your beef.
Well, I prefer pork. And that's fine.
Aye. He says, tell you what, meet me outside of this, he says, let's talk outside your home. We'll talk all about some gardening parties and such. And he will sort of wander outside with you if you want. Once you get outside, he'll dispense with it. That was very cool. Have inspiration. So that's very cool.
Thank you.
I'll work on that too, and we'll get a little more fluent soon enough. But yeah, he'll take you outside, and he's just gonna give you, I think, kind of ironically, he's gonna say, "How much cargo space? Are you gonna hold a couple tons?"
We can get a couple of tons.
Well, we recently just came into possession of about 5 bombard balls, cannonballs that we got some contacts back on the Rock of Brawl who'd like to make the purchase there. Would you be willing to take those on for us?
Will there? I can ship them back for you.
Aye, all right. And he'll give you the name of his contact. It'll be like this GIF on the Rock of Brawl. And he'll like look at your ship and be like, all right, well, we'll load them up in the dead of night and you'll be on your way and get them delivered whenever you find yourself there next. How's it sound?
Well, we'll be heading back there at some point. It's one of our
Alright.
main.
Fantastic. As long as you stay here for the night, they will load up the 5 cannonballs, and they will be delivered back to the rock. You guys can deliver them back to the rock draw, and he will tell you, "Fear not, you're going to make an exceptional extra little bit of pay." You're going to get like a significant finder's fee for each cannonball.
Oh,
Cool. I think he would tell you. Let's see here, because this is criminal stuff. So you're gonna make a little. Let's see, because they're gonna purchase them for cheap, which is the whole point of smuggling, rather than the market price. So they're gonna say for the simple transport, you're gonna make. Yeah, this is just like an easy job. You're just bringing them there. They're not marked carts or anything. We're gonna say you're gonna make like 500 cannonballs. So by the end of it, you're gonna make 250. Just to fly to the rocket roll. So yeah.
okay.
Very cool. To deliver cannonballs. I'll tell you what, you're going to make 250 off the front and 250 off the end. So the person purchasing is going to give you 250 and you're going to get 250 as well.
Right.
So you can mark that off. They will hand you a bag of 250 or 2,500 gold pieces.
Like 2,500.
2,500. Yes. Sorry if I think I'm mistaken myself before. But yes, 2,500. You're going to get the same amount on pawn delivery. Okay then. So as Ethereth enters, you guys will have all come back together at the table. Those of you who are sort of in the inn of the outpost of Chivalry's Rest. Just writing this all down to remind myself. The Forkbeard, we'll say this happens around the evening time, like he's finished all of his sales today, so it's evening, the sun's going down. You'll notice that like ball of flame in the sky, which is there's basically two suns. There's like a big burning red one and then the normal sun off in the distance. Way off in the distance. And he's gonna say, okay, I sold all of the items you told me about. We now have 13,870 gold pieces. I thought such a be wanting. So feel free to divvy that up. Oh, actually, there's the material wealth we still have. Let me add that to the sum. 870 plus the material wealth, which I never included. All right, that comes up to 18,790 gold pieces. I will keep that in a number of chests in the cargo hold. And he'll talk about the business with you, Zalace. If that's what you wish to do, of course.
Yeah.
And he's like, you see there's like a discomfort to him because he's like, he's a military guy, but he doesn't say anything. He's like, oh, great. Yeah, yes, of course. And he will help you maintain that cargo getting stored on there. And that will that'll be a check unto itself to make sure nobody catches on that you're loading those on illicit cargo. Okay, and at this point we will say, Ethereth, you come through the door, as Forkbeard is just kind of telling everybody about the result of his sales.
Sort of look around, make sure is anyone missing.
We'll say everybody's congregated near the table.
Everyone, we need to return to the ship immediately. Do not go to the lower decks. Head straight onto the upper deck. And not a word.
8.
Okay. Can we say okay? Can we say excuse me if we have to like slip by somebody?
Oh, by the gods. No.
Epoxy jumps out the
Just-
window.
I love that. And you just okay. Actually, now that
I
I'm
will
thinking
do
of it.
it. I will do it.
All right, Apoxy, you just jump out the window. Some guys are like, it'll be good. Yeah, some guys getting off the ship be like, it'll be good to get some down window breaks at Apoxy. And they're like, oh, wow, this looks like a cool place. Apoxy, as you jump out the window, you are gonna take.
I'm not gonna rage. I'll just take it.
I don't think you can rage at the following time. Anyway, you take 15 points of bludgeoning damage as you smash into the moon's surface.
To the ship I must go.
And you, the ship calls, and you tear off towards the ship. Okay,
I just
so
grab my cloak and I'll fly out the window after Epoxy's jumped and broke the glass.
I love that. Just madness. Fort Beard's
I just look at Chapter like expecting him to do something similar, just like
Yeah. You know, I really need a pair of rocket boots. And he just starts walking out the door slowly.
which almost is chaotic into itself, given your reputation. You guys haven't done a lot of fishing. I'm gonna get rid of these like fishing poles and things. Oh, this is just a holder ship. I didn't mean to go crazy. Yeah, you all get back to the ship. You're all standing around on the deck of the ship. Now what?
Basan, you've seen the lady, the dame, firsthand. How bad is her condition by your standard?
She can't stop coughing. She looks bad. I didn't get close. I'm not a doctor, but it's contagious. And the captain said to stay away.
Who are we talking about?
The lady paladin who healed the whale.
Ilara?
She is very sick. That is why we are all up here and not down there. Etherith, you said there is a druid.
There is a moon here known as Glorianus, and I should say it's very small. We won't be able to land, but it is supposedly home to a druid who, well, they're a druid, so with any luck, they might be able to rustle up something to cure this condition, particularly one that's powerful enough to even infect a paladin. I'll be honest, if that's not possible, there are a few future paths that may come to be. One is that we are all already infected ourselves, and we are all slowly moving towards a death that we cannot avoid. But if that's the case, then everything is hopeless, and I refuse to sit back and just allow that to happen. So, option 2 is that for now we keep Miss Moonshadow in quarantine. No one is to approach her. We're going to try to avoid infection as best as possible. And I will only propose this because it is a solution, though I think but I don't think everyone will be comfortable with doing so. It may be necessary to kill her if we cannot find a means to cure her.
Fort Beard goes, no, hold on just a minute. We're not to kill anybody. Surely that's a bit extreme, isn't it?
Again, that's only a possibility if we can't find a cure here. But yes, it is extreme because the plague we're dealing with is also extreme. It's my understanding that paladins are, well, they don't get sick. It doesn't happen. So for this contagion to be able to defy that conventional thinking means extreme measures will be necessary, because out of everyone here, I'm not even sure if Epoxy and Chaplain will get away unscathed. I don't know if we'll even follow conventional fleshy biology. It may try to infect them equally.
For now, the paladin is in bed and not moving, but just coughing. So maybe we can table this discussion.
If anyone,
Very well.
let's see here. If anyone has intentions of, let's see. Who's proficient in medicine here? Chaplain. All right, you're the king doctor around here now. I want you to make me a medicine check, but with intelligence proficiency. So you're going to try and understand the ailment before you.
Dirty 20.
Okay, that is a very high roll. So you're gonna. This is all conjecture. This is not tested. This isn't anything, right? This is probably an estimation that you would make, Chaplain. A paladin's power to be immune from disease comes from their divine faith. Yours and Apoxy's comes from the fact that you don't have skin and blood and bone and like, or you're not organic, so you can't be sick because you're organic. She can't be sick because of her faith, her divine allegiance. You recall in the healing of the Kindorei, it was required to use a spell known as protection from evil and good, which basically breaks down barriers of like faithful based, divine based spells, whether it is evil or good. You expect in this moment, because she did say there's some kind of like evilness to it. You think that this, in this moment, there's a good chance that this disease isn't just like a biological disease. This is a curse on, like this is a disease laced with some kind of evil curse at this point. And it seems to be attacking not only basically celestials, those who are faithful and holy. The Kindorei are literally celestials. The Dane's power comes from her faith. So it seems to you that the plague seems to be targeting people affiliated with divine magic.
Oh. Well, that's me.
But you are immune to disease because you don't have biological parts. So there's still an idea, like obviously you have to test it. There's still an idea that you and Apoxy are immune because it doesn't have to do with your divination. It has to do with your bodies.
So I have a number of different ideas about why this may or may not be something that I'm kind of individually capable of at least looking into. I have a few ideas for how to put some layers of protection between Alora and myself. With everybody's permission, if you don't mind, I'd like to try and take the safest route that I can think of to try to examine them and try a couple of things that might put them, at a little bit more at ease and in a little bit more comfort.
That's a good idea.
Beard will say, if everyone is in agreement, Chaplain, you are the most medically sound person here. Makes sense.
All right. And Okay, then I have a few things in mind. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a little time to do a little meditation and some praying and see if I can prepare myself to cast a few spells and try a few things that I think might be applicable.
Okay. Chaplain's going to do that. Forkbeard is going to say, all right, well, while Chaplain's off doing that, what do you all think? Is there anything that we could all be doing to try and help ourselves or keep the ship clean? Yes, I might order that we do at least the main deck. We do an extra cleaning, do an extra round of swabbing every day for germs and such. Okay, all right. Celine says, I remember when we were going to leave that the high priestess said that you could find, what did she say? That you could catch it early because there's like a discoloration thing with the tongue and the fingernails. If everyone wants to do a quick medicine check to inspect themselves, go right ahead to see if they're currently infected or not.
6. I just stare at my black scales.
Yeah, exactly.
13.
13, you look at yourself, Solace, your fingernails are fine. Maybe you go to somebody and they look in your tongue and you feel fine, you look fine. You think you're not infected.
I got a 10. I don't know if I'm a carrier.
10, Apox, you like look at your hands and you know your fingernails are
I've
not
killed a lot of
necessarily
things with this.
fingernails. Yeah, your fingernails aren't necessarily fingernails, but like murderous
Pizza
claws,
knives.
and they're basically knives. So you don't think you're infected because you don't actually have a tongue or like fingernails, as it were. So you think you're okay. What about you, Basan?
21.
21. You look at your fingernails, they're looking a little dark. Only where the skin connects with the actual fingernail, nothing that extends beyond that. But they're looking a little dark.
Isan's going to move to where, like, the closest door to where Chaplain went into the lower ground.
Okay.
Um, and as she gets ready to go in, she's going to tell the captain, there's some darkening on my fingernails.
Oh, okay.
I was the one who went to check on the paladin. I'm going to go sit with them now.
Oh, all right.
And just immediately goes down to sit with
Yeah,
Chaplain.
okay. Got it. But as far as the rest of you could tell, nobody else seems to be infected. I'll tell you what, if you all remember your roles, I'm going to get an average check because you're all checking each other too, because you can't look under your own tongue. So let me get my calculator out real quick. Okay, I'm going to go around. If you remember your role, please let me know. Apoxy.
10.
10. What about you, Chaplain? Oh, Chaplain's not. You're not here. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there yet.
What'd you get, Solace?
13.
13. Excellent. Etherith?
6.
6. Hassan?
21.
21. And then I'll roll for everybody else on the deck here. Axebeard rolls 11. Celine rolls.
Actually,
She rolls
Was it-
7.
was it perception or was it
This is medicine.
medicine?
This
I
is
am
medicine.
so sorry. It was an 18. I apologize. It was an 18.
An 18 instead of a 21. Okay. No problem. Okay, you all average out at 10, which was the DC check. So you guys get an accurate estimate of how everybody's doing. Indeed, it only seems to be Basan who has any sort of discoloration of concern.
So, a question.
Oh, you coughed. Oh, it's you too. Okay. Okay. Sorry, what was that, Zilies?
So I have a question and above table. So the air bubble that we have around the ship
Yeah.
when we're traveling,
Yeah.
can that? So obviously, if it's an airborne thing and they're in it, is there a way of having a separate little air bubble within the ship, or is it just the one?
It's so basically an air envelope is Spelljammer's answer to like atmosphere.
Yeah.
So you need a second ship. You could try and have your ship drag something of gargantuan size behind you, but it would need to be dragged fairly far back.
The only other source of like an extra air bubble is literally the air bubble spell,
And
which
there
I do
is the
not
air
have.
bubble spell. It's true. There is the air bubble spell.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just
Yeah.
thinking. Okay, thanks.
No, fair enough. It's all good questions. Trying to figure out this little mystery. Okay, so Chaplain, let's come to you now. Basan joins below deck, insisting she is also sick. Why don't you go ahead and tell me about your battery of magical tests and predictions?
Yeah, so first, I would like to, I guess, open up the door to Alora's room so that I can see inside. But then I'm going to step back so that I'm a decent ways away.
All right.
And I'm going to invoke duplicity inside, like at the bedside,
Very cool.
so that the duplicity is in proximity and I'm not specifically. And
She
then
kind of manages to cough out like a little, like she basically tells you to she's like, no, go save yourself, kind of thing.
right,
like,
good, perfect. So then I'm going to have the duplicity kind of put its hand on her head and cast feign death on her.
Very cool.
And I don't know exactly what the nature of this thing does, but I'll read the description for feign death and you can determine, unless you're already reading it, how and if it applies. But target appears dead to all outward inspection and to spells used to determine the target's status. Target's blinded and incapacitated, speed 0. The target has resistance to all damage except psychic damage if the target is diseased or poisoned when you cast a spell, or becomes diseased or poisoned while under the spell's effect. The disease and poison have no effect until the spell ends.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, I like it. So you can ritual cast this. So it could take 10 minutes. So you don't have to use the spell slot if you wish.
Yeah, the duplicity doesn't last that long, so that's all right. I'll use the spell slot.
Okay, use the spell slot. You use feign death, and yes, I will say that you feel as though you successfully incubate her so that the disease is not given time to spread, and she basically like goes limp and deathly and submits to whatever spell you would place upon her.
Okay, now I'm going to actual physical chaplain. After a minute, the duplicity fades anyway. So now chaplain's going to walk in, and I'm going to try to determine, to the best of my ability through as many ways as I can, whether it be through Arcana, which I'm proficient in, or medicine, or whatever. If I through use of the healing kit, if I can determine exactly like what the nature of her symptoms are, at least.
Okay, so yeah, make me a medicine check to analyze her symptoms.
So I guess I'm going for like status and cause overall, but it could be one or the other of those. So the medicine check was 21.
21. Okay. You learn a couple of things. You see that she has the same sort of like ichor that you saw on the Kindorei around her eyes, almost like a really heavy layer of sleep, except it's like black and sort of sticky and kind of rolls down her eyes. You expect that would lead to blindness probably pretty soon. It looks like it's definitely attacked her breathing, her lungs, pretty intensely. She does have like the same ichor sort of like pussing out from under her fingernails, and like her mouth as well. There's like a lot of residue in her mouth. So her symptoms, and it looks like a very like aggressive plague here. You get the sense that your feigned death will probably end up saving her life.
Great.
How long does that last for? That lasts for
An hour,
an hour.
I think.
You were told that the disease attacks humanoids. Once it's like fully incubated, it attacks humanoids like voraciously, and then takes them out pretty quickly. I will say with how well you rolled, you get the sense that she's got a bit of time here. She maybe has a couple days before it like fully takes her out. You expect that's because like, though it's attacked her anyway, because she is a paladin and is associated with these divine magics. You confirm that, by the way. You think that it's particularly vicious attacking her because she is like a divine, sanctified, faithful individual. But regardless, these divine gifts are holding it at bay a little bit better. It's targeted her easier, but it's not infecting her as easier. So she's got a couple of days before she's going to get taken out by this thing.
Okay. Great. So I have a feeling this isn't obviously, I mean, it sounds like I already picked up on this, but it doesn't sound like it's completely physical or biological in nature, right? I think you've kind of already agreed on that.
Yeah.
So there's something at least mystical or arcane or something about it, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, make me a Arcana or religion check, your choice.
Okay, they're the same for me, so. Oh, that was almost a 19, but it ended up being an 11.
An 11. I'll say you simply confirm your suspicions that this plague is laced with like some kind of blasphemous curse.
All right. And can I remember, just above the table, can I remember from before, somebody tried dispel magic on this, right? And that didn't work?
Yeah, I
Nobody
did.
has.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
you do
and that was
remember that Ilara managed to fix it by using a protection from evil and good. And you expect at this point, with further analysis, that was to basically bypass the curse part, and then performed two of them, performed two cure disease through lay on hands. So you expect translation for you would be protection from evil and good, lesser restoration, probably do the job.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was going to try something else, but let me try that then.
Okay. So you want to put down those a first, a second, and a second for those three spells?
Yeah, I'll get those. Yep.
Okay. You do protection from evil and good on her. You do feel this evil is bypassed in this moment as you grant her these protections. You do a lesser restoration, and it does begin to sort of take down the sort of attacking virus, and you kind of put one more in there, and it's able to attack like the actual core of the biological disease. And it's difficult to tell if it works, but you're pretty sure it worked because she's feigning death right now, so she looks like she's dead.
Right.
But you're pretty sure it might have worked.
Okay. And Yvain's still here, right?
No, Yvain is in Taldore, but Basan is here.
Oh yeah. Basan. All right, come here, Basan. Let me see if we can get this off of you.
I will carry over all of the many checks that you've done.
Yeah.
You get the sense that because Basan's, like the plague inside of her hasn't fully incubated, you don't get the sense that it's going to be as intense a battery of spells. You can probably just use one less restoration.
Sure. Perfect. Okay. Then I will go ahead and do that.
You lesser restoration. Basan, you chaplain, there's no visible, not as many visible symptoms, but you feel it flow into her, latch on to whatever was inside and sort of break it. And within literally a couple seconds, Basan, as circulation sort of returns, you see the coloration return to your fingernails after like 30 to 60 seconds.
Perfect. All right. I was about to whip out a magic circle.
That
I was about to circle that young lady in. All right,
would be a
good.
very interesting test, though, considering that this is like an evil malady of some kind.
Right. I think right. That's kind of what I was thinking, to see if we could trap it. But we don't want our lovely druid to die. So no, I think I'm good for now.
Understood.
Thank you.
Okay. So you guys are all kind of like
You're welcome.
washing, being careful. And sure enough, Ilara, Basan, and Chaplain, if you guys would think to do so. Ilara, Chaplain, and Basan emerge onto the top deck, probably to the nervousness of all of you. But Chaplain, you can proclaim that you have fixed the paladin if you wish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody's clean. They say that paladins don't get diseases, but I may be the only cleric in the history of the universe to have healed a diseased cleric or a diseased paladin.
Congratulations.
Ilara will sort of like look really almost upset with herself. Just say, I just need to say I'm very sorry, everyone. I inspected all of you and was keeping an eye on all of you, and I thought my oaths would protect me from this, and I wasn't looking at myself carefully enough. I should have known better, and I just want to say I'm very sorry.
Can I share with Ilara our belief about the fact that it's reacting to essentially like spiritual energies?
Yeah, and she'll look at you and sort of shake her head and like, yeah. And she'll go, that does make sense. I mean that does make sense. I can't think of another explanation as to why I could get sick. I've been around diseases all the time, but I've always been immune. It has to be something that attacks divine. It would make sense. That's why the Kindorei are getting sick. They're celestial, and my power comes from the celestials. So I guess that does make sense. And she'll like check you over, Chaplain. She's gonna do her own inspection of the. She says, "You may have divine magics too, but you don't seem to be. I mean, you're an auto gnome. You don't seem to be sick either. It must be why you're not sick, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know if I have diseasable parts.
I guess not. At least it proves one thing is that we can't rely on paladins and clerics to heal this across wild space, because we're more vulnerable to it than others, it seems.
A little while back, we seen that ship of Autonym. Can we find them?
We could. Axebeard will say, well, we could. This is a very good point. So nice. We should keep our eye out. It seems that our construct friends are our best friends right now. Can't we get diseased by it? All right. Well, go ahead.
As far as I know, I'm sure that there are others somewhere. But as far as I know, most constructs aren't built, to serve spiritual purposes generally. I think I'm probably the only one I've ever heard of. I think if we see a ship of, autonomes floating about, I find it doubtful that any of them has any spiritual, inclinations.
Exactly.
Epoxy certainly doesn't. Points at Epoxy.
Epoxy clearly doesn't have anything to do with holy or unholy magics of any kind. Clearly.
No, that's untrue. Remember the cultists.
We don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know that. They don't know that.
I run into the cultists.
You say this? You bring it up.
Yeah.
You ran it. She goes, oh, that's so she just kind of laughs. She thinks you're like keeping the joke going. She goes, anyway.
All
To
right.
think of
There's just like
constructs.
just a second, like just tell you his head like Epox is just like
Maybe a persuasion
What?
check, Apoxy, to see if you can
just try to
convince.
I
think.
will do it with disadvantage because I feel like it is appropriate.
Yeah, okay, make me a disadvantage persuasion check to see if you can convince the
You've
crew.
you've
I
been
got a
too weird
2.
around Etherith right now.
So basically Alara's like,
Oh,
Apoxy doesn't
sorry.
have
I got a
anything to
5.
do. Okay, a 5. Apox, yeah, no. Apoxy, or Alara's like, Apoxy clearly has nothing to do with holy or unholy magic of any kind. Apoxy's like, I did run into those cultists, and everyone's like, like full like sitcom version, and everyone thinks
Right,
Apoxy is just
the laugh track plays.
yeah. The
I don't
laugh track
understand what's
plays,
funny. Where's that coming from?
and everyone and the laughter continues. It's like, oh, okay, that's enough of that joke. But nobody takes this seriously. None of you are persuaded in any way. And Axper says, anyway, I'm going to order that we do an extra cleansing of the lower decks and the cargo holds this evening before we set off tomorrow morning. I don't know where or how this plague gets transmitted, but I think at best we just do a general cleansing just in case. So
I'll get on
let's
it.
get those brushes out, get some soap and water on the deck.
So while that's happening, Zalace is just going to sneak off, grab his bunk and all his gear, and go on top deck and find the highest point possible and hitch his wagon up there.
Okay, you're just gonna you're gonna go find. Give me a stealth check to run away from crew work today.
I'll tell you what, let's do it here. 22.
22. So, Lace, yeah, you definitely hide from having to do any work. There isn't very much a high point on the strike ship to be said, but we'll say that like you're an acrobatic fellow. We'll say that you like pitch your hammock like hanging from the bottom of like the sails. And you just kind of like hang down there near like the cargo hold doors, and nobody's really aware of it. So all of you will very pointedly notice that Zalace is nowhere to be found during the deck swabbing portion of the evening. His absence is noticeable. But the last thing I'll have, Zalace, is I'll have you do some rolls for me to see if you can get this cargo on board your ship this evening without anybody noticing. So, I'm going to have you roll me obviously a stealth check. Let's get that one out of the way. It's not a high DC. This is easy work.
I sleep in the cargo.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Okay.
16.
16. Okay. Yeah, that's a success. Next, I'll have you roll me. I'm just pulling it up real quick. There we are. Next, I'll have let's call it a investigation or perception check, your choice.
Alright. 17.
A 17. Incredible. So none of the no security or anybody of any kind of like good moral standing is going to be aware of this transitioning on. As you load all of these like cannonballs into the cargo hold, you turn around and see Apoxy there, who is like, "Yo, what's up?" Make me a deception check as the final check to get this all on board without anyone being the wiser.
The lace. What you up to here?
11. That is a success. The DC is only 10 for this very easy criminal task. Apoxy Zalace gives you some line about how like something about how Forkbeard couldn't sell it, and he's just kind of helping out. And you're
I
like,
understand.
okay. Yeah, exactly. And you just shut back down. Cool. So you get it all loaded up, Zalace. Well done. And with that, you get past any sort of prying eyes and load up the cannonball cargo, and you can have that transferred to the Rocket Brawl at some point. With that, as our party is going to take a long rest, let us all take a rest as well. Let's have like a 10-ish minute break. We'll be back very soon.
All right. I have a spell question when we come back. I'll hold on to
Okay.
it.
Sounds good. Oh, we're not doing that.
Cool.
I have to remember this. Epoxy jumping out the window.
Hello, good sir. Hello, welcome.
Hello. I was also considering suggesting killing her and then buying a bunch of gemstones to revive her. I mean, she'd be
Do
cured
we?
then, right?
No! I mean, I see the logic, but I don't think that would get rid of the problem, which is the disease itself.
I mean, once the disease killed you, once the disease has killed you, that's it, right?
I don't think it would be that simple. I mean, Basan had it too, so it
And
had,
Basan was just need restoration, which
yeah, thankfully,
we're all good. We have plenty of that.
it's cured.
Apparently, Bisan found it early enough.
Oh, was
So we're
quite
talking about like divide, like attacking like people with divine faith, and just sat there like, oh shit, shit.
celestial divinity.
That's. I mean, I wish for moon goddess, celestial as it gets. Although I guess
Wait,
I could be immune actually, because that might be why I'm not infected.
yeah, I was gonna add, is your deity not celestial?
I mean, deities are like I don't like I don't know like if the average deity is celestial or not, but like Hecate is
I don't
as far as alignment is concerned, Hecate is evil. And so I was thinking, oh wait, maybe it's because I'm like aligned with an evil goddess. I'm actually
Yeah.
not being targeted by this disease as far as it's concerned. I'm a bad bitch.
you can still be celestial and be evil. Like
That's also
it's not
true,
like
yeah.
celestial is good And
Yeah.
infernal is evil. Infernal is fiendish
Yeah.
and implies a certain genetic and cultural heritage that celestial is just a different one. But he can still be a dick and be a celestial. If I understand correctly.
Yeah, I think that all makes sense.
You are a cosmic level dick.
I think.
Well, now
I'd be
that
happy to get rid of you.
our paladin doesn't, isn't on death's doorstep, we try to find an herbalist or an alchemist. Maybe an alchemist might be the smarter thing to try to find. I don't know.
I like the idea of this.
Dang it.
I like the super druid idea.
I like the super druid idea too. Do we have the ability to jump down and get back on the ship?
It would be a case of like, okay, so from what I was looking at, because you said like, yeah, stuff, a class like a size A planet, a planetoid, it's 10 miles in diameter, which in theory sounds like, oh, 10 miles, I can land on that. It's a sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
you can't. It would look like we could like land on some of it, but I don't know about like getting the whole ship on it. So it might just be a case of like, God, it was like a Rick and Morty episode of Planet's really small.
Oh my
just
God,
walking
yes.
a lot.
Oh my God.
It's like one big continuous hill.
Yeah, it's just one hill. I mean, imagine that's exactly what the reference is, just like the little druid hut on a hill.
There
Just keeps
was
going.
no gravity on that planet either, was there?
No, there's gravity. I mean, it's a large enough planet that has its own gravity
Okay.
plane and envelope and stuff.
And 10 miles in diameter?
Yeah, that's like the size 10 mile diameter.
Oh my
This little diddy thing.
Lord. I mean, you can fit like 2 ships, maybe.
There's a couple of void worlds in between that, Loki and Fjord, but void worlds, no air, no
Me and Chaplin
gravity.
can check it out. Though I don't think there'd be much to explore.
We'll go to Retinue and try and harvest some fungus, give ourselves supervision.
Ah, I need supervision upgrade on
Yeah.
me.
I like our
Why?
chances. I like our chances of trying to find somebody in this system that can, with all the naturalists and whatever,
Yeah,
that can reason their way through this.
I do love the most the powerful solution is just finding a bunch of like auto gnome clerics to go around healing
Let's
everyone.
find that ship again.
But then it's also like, oh wait, how many like a construct with faith?
Right.
That's so rare. There's just no way.
That one ship we came across was the only one in the whole.
Yeah.
But
The
we
whole
don't know that
astral
any of them
realm.
were clerics or paladins.
Yeah.
We just know they were auto gnomes. They could have been
Yeah.
Oh,
all
you're
fighter
right.
types. There might not have been anyone particularly devout among them.
It's almost like it's oxymoronic because the idea of like artificial construct believing in like a god kind of doesn't
Right.
work because gods are like usually to do with like mortal stuff, but
Kind of impossible.
it's like we are all God's children and these are his grandchildren. Doesn't care. There is weird metallic artificial grandchildren. Like this doesn't.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of supposed to be part of the joke of Chaplin, is that he's a devout robot, right?
Yeah, which totally works. But like for any other god, unless like I don't think it's gonna fly.
Actually, Nate, you might be able to answer my question. You tend to know this sort of thing.
Yeah.
What kind of spells are there available for kind of like what I wanted is to try and, kind of do something to try to protect the ship from evil. I don't have access to Hallow. Is there? I thought there might be something under ceremony, but I don't really see anything. Is it? I
Maybe
thought there was
like
something specifically for like
sanct-
blessing ground or like an area.
I'm trying to think, is it sanctify or something? Sanctification is something that comes to mind as soon as like
Yeah, I
that's
looked up
a
sanctify too,
spell.
and I couldn't find anything.
Because it was in second edition of fifth edition. Yes. Hallow, yeah.
I mean,
think part
whatever the blight spell, like it might be the opposite of blight that I'm thinking of that allows you to.
maybe. Um,
I didn't see anything in my spell list. I was kind of wondering if the paladin, I mean, aside from ceremony, so I was kind of wondering if the paladin might have access to anything.
cleric spells. Ceremony, yeah, that's not gonna work. Protection from evil and good only affects one person.
All right.
So I've already got Nate working on my question. I'm trying to reason through how to protect the ship from evil influence. And I don't know that I was hoping maybe ceremony did it. I thought there was something for sanctifying ground, but there's not. I don't have hallow, or
Yeah.
blight and whatever the opposite of that is. But is there something? Is there like where does that fall in like D&D known spells?
Well, a large scale. So the ship is pretty big. It's
Yeah.
pretty big. I would say, yeah, that's probably the realm of a hallow. I mean,
Yeah.
you're a little bit low level to do. Anyone here is a little too low level to be doing any sort of magics that could afflict an entire gargantuan space.
Right.
So I think because you guys are of this low level, it's really about individual, like little individual helps here and there. But yeah, I would say that like if you're trying to keep away something sacrilegious, blasphemous, Hallow would be the way to go. But it is very expensive and very time consuming and a much higher level.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, in lieu of that, and in character not really knowing what to do and what will and won't work, I probably will do some like ceremony to create holy water and then sprinkle holy water around some places on the ship and people's beds, maybe.
That is very good. That
in
is
the
very
kitchen.
good. Yeah, that's a very good solution. I'm gonna go take a quick look at holy water. It is a very like limited what it can do, but I don't care. Holy water is pretty cool stuff. Yeah, it's very specific. It's like fiends or undead take 2d6 radiant damage, but like I would expand that because this is water that is like, yeah. So if you want to take some time, you do need to purchase the silver dust required for the creation of the spell. But then you can spend that time creating holy water and sprinkling it around.
All right. Well, then I guess I'll look and see if that's available here where we are.
Yeah, you could easily find that. It's 25 gold pieces worth of powdered silver. I'm gonna say Axebeard is going to sort of just say like, oh no, this is for the protection of everybody. I think we will take that out of our funds that we received from the salvage. He will give you. He'll give you like 200 gold pieces to go purchase silver dust with, and you can begin to make holy water.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's my current plan for trying to stave this off a little bit.
Got it. Because you know that like at this point, you know that it's one part disease, or one I shouldn't say disease. It's one part like sickness, illness, and it's one part like unholy curse.
Right.
So yeah, like at the very least, if it doesn't burn it away altogether, it at least is going to like react like alchemically almost, and it'll let
Sure.
you know if something's disease. So absolutely a good way of going about it. Yeah, I think Axbeard will even say, he'll say, you know what, at the end of all of this, if we get this all fixed up, I might even hand you off a little extra, and we can make a couple barrels worth of holy water, and maybe we just do a full ship scrub with holy water. But it'll be expensive, but hey, we got to live here, so might as well.
Yeah.
So he'll give you the 200, and you'll be able to make 8 flasks worth of holy water, which is certainly enough to go around, like spritz them on the bed and on the ground, on the walls. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So you may add that to your inventory. I will say that you can get that between all the swabbing and everything. We'll say that you can start making it tomorrow. It's going to take a little bit of time to make it tomorrow. So you all get a long rest, which is great. We'll say that you use one of those. Maybe you make one and use one, or excuse me. The paladin can make one as well. So she's going to make her own, and she's going to cleanse her own room with it. Yeah. So you all get a long rest. You all sleep fine. You all wake up the next morning. What is the plan for Dawn's Eclipse?
Well, initially I was suggesting Glorianus because of imminent death, but that's been staved off, so it's less of an emergency. And we have maybe a better idea of what we're dealing with. So I would say Glorianus is still on the table, but there is also the original intention of a trip to Templar in case of, I don't know, curiosity. Mages tend to know things.
So the question is, how we need to figure out how we want to try and get around this. We know the way of curing it, but how do we then put that into practice? Are we going to use the alchemists to try and give something that we can spread about easily with either the sharks or even the fluids that we've got in some way?
I think Alara would say, well, yeah, we need to find a way to sort of be able to mass produce or even create some kind of cure. Like me and Chaplain, we know how to do it as individuals, but we need to find some way to cure it without actual casters involved. And so that would mean we would need a delivery system through some kind of potion or some kind of alchemical reagent or something like that. This is where my mind goes anyway. But maybe there's something else that I haven't thought of.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's at least a concern of, delivering it to a huge traveling group without meeting up with each individual. And then in addition to that, there's also the matter of the cause, that's got to be worked out at some point.
I agree.
Sorry, I forgot.
It's troubling because on two fronts is that even should we find a means to create a more, I don't know, let's say accessible cure for everyday folk, actually administering such a thing on a wider scale is I mean, wild space is big. It's millions of miles.
And Lara will say, well, as far as humanoids get sick, I mean, lesser restoration seems to do the job pretty well, just fine, as long as it isn't afflicting a member of some kind of holy clergy, like it did to me. So I don't know if an antitoxin would do the job, but lesser restoration certainly do, and the clergy could handle the humanoids. But as far as the Kindorei go, it's like you all say, it's rather hard to deliver a cure to an entire spacefaring race, especially ones that don't like to be around suns and moons and planets. It's a lot of ground to go.
So, do we
Then-
just try and find the source of this and try and tackle it from there?
I'll tell you what, Chaplain, make me a intelligence-based medicine check. Or a religion check. I'll give you either or. Or you can roll both. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
I went with medicine, intelligence-based medicine check, for a 21 total.
21 total. So it's tricky. It's tricky because finding the source works well in both instances. If you could find like ground zero or subject zero to a disease, that's very helpful. But then you can always work backwards, where like if you can mass produce and cure, it can sort of eat away all the way back to the cure. And that's how diseases work. As far as curses go, yeah, like curses are usually linked to something. If it's on a magic item, it's linked to the magic item. If it's something like what's going on here, there's probably something that is at the source of the curse. So, but it's tricky because you have both of them here. So it's like you don't know which is the right answer. Go find the source and stop it at the source, or treat the malady itself. It seems to be, as far as its behavior, it works a lot like a disease more than a curse, where it spreads sort of contagiously like a contagion. So you expect probably the best way to deal with this. It could be either or, but you think that treating it first and foremost as a disease would be the way to handle it, which would be to deal with its patients, and then it can't be passed on if there's no patients.
Right.
But finding the source and finding and stopping it at the source could be a way of doing it. It's difficult to say, but you know for certainty that it is behaving like a plague more than a curse.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think both of those points are relevant. One that we know that it is traveling and being spread like a disease, so we can use general plague, anti-plague techniques to try and fight it in that way. But it is also interesting that we're realizing now that it seems to have sort of a curse-like or malevolent quality to it, and that means that at some point it was intentional. A disease exists because some organism with a that has a negative effect is just trying to survive, right? It's not necessarily evil in nature. It's trying to, like everything else in the world, to try and survive and get by and procreate. But a curse is much more intentional than that. That's intentional evil. It's in order for something to be intentional, it seems like there had to have been some intelligent initiate at some point that started this whole thing off. And regardless of the effect, I'm not sure we want that entity out there.
Celine will say, it's a good point. Curses are made. Curses happen because of people's actions and behaviors. So somewhere along the line, either someone very bad and evil initiated this, or someone maybe blundered into some kind of sacrilegious action that sort of evoked this to happen, maybe, or like plundered a tomb they shouldn't have, or something like that. I've heard stories. Yes, Basalt?
Is there anyone who benefits directly from the Kindorei's extinction?
It's a good question. If anyone wants to make I think it's more of an investigation. Maybe if anyone wants to make an investigation check to sort of estimate who might that be.
21.
21.
Nat 20 for 22.
Not 20,
Oh,
22, 21. So Etherith and Basan, who benefits from the death of Celestials? I can tell you who doesn't benefit: solar dragons, moon dragons, whalers, anyone in the
Yeah.
spell jamming community.
That's basically where my gears were going, was like, the Kindorei aren't the target. They're just the medium.
Kindorei are very important to the ecosystem of wild space, as well as the economy of spell jamming economy. So you can rule those large factions out. So dragons, wild space inhabitants, civilized spacefaring civilizations. So it comes down to who wants Celestials gone.
Or who wants
Their
to
own.
control that commodity? Isn't that the inverse of that? If the Kindorei aren't the target, then maybe their death causing bad to a population, and that's the target.
Well, two schools of thought is that the natural like opposition to Celestials is fiends, but I can't think of many spacefaring fiends. And then my other thinking is that it's intentionally meant to target the things that prey on Kindorei, which are whalers and dragons and the like.
Spelljammers.
And spelljammers, yeah.
Which is a lot of folks. So this could be some attack on the spelljamming community at large. It could be an attack on dragonkind. If someone is trying to, it's like the buffalo, right? Like if we're thinking about like American history, the government sent out hunters to go kill all the buffalo so that they could control the native population.
Yeah.
That could be a similar thing, where they're trying to control the economy of the spelljamming community, or they're trying to control dragons as a large whole.
I mean, if there's a cosmic population of isolationists out there, they might feel like they benefited from severely depleting the number of whalers and spelljammers that were floating around in astral space.
Maybe it's better to find the cure and think more about why when there's more evidence that points to why.
Ethel's just like staring, like trying to think really hard. The answer's just like right in front of him and he can't deal with it.
So we need to find the alchemist then. See if we can make a potion that can cure it, and then go from there. We can't do anything without a cure, basically. So we need to get that started.
Question for the DM. You said obviously that Kindorei spinal fluid is a vital ingredient to making spell jamming helms. Essentially,
Yeah.
no Kindorei,
Bone
no
marrow,
spell
spinal fluid.
yeah.
Yeah.
No Kindorei, no spell jamming helms.
It's a lot harder. It is significantly harder. Like, again, the same analogy with the buffalo. The natives can survive without buffalo, but it is much harder.
Which groups do not need Kindorei or like have their own means of creating spelljamming helms that require Kindorei spinal fluid?
Again, that's just about anybody. Like civil, like polite society would never admit about how Kindorei, like the huge black market trade, like Kindorei skeletons and fluid. That isn't to say that there aren't other methods. It's just much harder to do.
I guess my question is like, can I think of any groups that are I guess known for using an alternative means?
Okay, let me take a look around and get back to you. Let's see here. Well, to start, make me a history check.
Really, I should have. 13.
13. Okay, let's take a look here. What civilizations? That travel through wild space without the need of spelljamming helms.
Or if they do use spelljamming helms, use like a specifically like unique method of constructing them.
Yeah. There are there are types of beholders that can travel through wild space without the use of them, but it's a very specific type of beholder. Largely speaking, beholders utilize spelljamming technology in large. There is a number of like unintelligent creatures throughout wild space that don't use spelljamming technology. The Githyanki Githyanki and Githzerai can travel through wild space because their more superior members utilize the power of plane shift rather than just traditional travel. So they can. Githyanki specifically ride red dragons into battle, and they can, make long distances with plane shift and then travel the shorter distances on dragonback. Those would be the big ones.
I was just gonna say in character that, hey, I remember when we were on that Gith ship, they were using that chaos fragment or whatever to power and steer their ship. They weren't using spelljamming helms.
Good points.
I'm going to put one more down that I'm pretty sure they don't use spelljammers altogether.
Yeah.
But give me a moment. Good. Yes, Zalace, the Illithid. The thing is that nautiloids, really only you guys, most of you guys, all of you have been in nautiloids, but none of you have like thoroughly been through nautiloids. Like Basan, even your earliest raid on the nautiloid was like kind of a chaotic fuck up of a raid. And you guys getting out was a prison break and like jumping off. So you guys didn't investigate thoroughly. Nautiloids are largely considered like UFOs, even in the spelljamming community. They're kind of like they pop into existence and they fuck up whoever's nearby and they leave. People largely don't know about the interior of nautiloids. They don't know how they work. No, people aren't even sure that they use traditional spelljamming helms to pilot them. So the Illithid, because they are a race that's going extinct. Their great spacefaring enemies are the Gith, and how they want to dominate all life. So if they take out spelljamming technology, they could become the great power of wild space once more. So Illithid, Gith would be the two major civilizations that could get by without spelljamming.
Right.
Well, like I guess in my mind I'm thinking like plausible, but also kind of not in there. Like the Gith is like This seems a bit like not like Gith MO. Really evil
It's not.
disease.
Yeah, it's really not Gith MO. It's not even Illithid MO either. Like
Yeah, exactly.
curses, diseases, absolutely. I would say diseases definitely fits Illithid, like some kind of like horrible humanoid celestial killing disease, definitely. But like a sacrilegious curse intermingled in it doesn't really seem like their MO.
The Illithid did have that one celestial locked away in that prison.
It's true.
That is true.
And someone took something that we did not see.
They were there for many, many years, though.
It was not necessarily connected. Should we try to find an alchemist?
I would like to make a stop on Templar. If nothing else, I'd like to at least maybe consult some of their books.
It's a great mystery who might have produced this strange cursed disease. And you don't have enough evidence or clues to point definitively at one race. Even the major spacefaring races that could survive without spell jamming, they do. The nature of this curse isn't quite their MO. But yeah, if you guys want to take off, you can fly. It'll take almost no time at all to the next moon over. You can land on the planet of Templar. Yes, Bassan?
As a question for Chaplain and maybe Dom Moon Shadow, but
Yeah.
can you get it twice? Or do you get immune after you've had it once?
I've heard of diseases like that before, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that what I've done would keep you from getting it again. That's becoming immune to a disease is usually more about biological, physiological type factors. But if there's as we've seen, like normal biological and physiological rules don't necessarily completely apply to this thing. So I would say that there's certainly, I would take precautions against putting yourself in a situation where you might contract it again. I'm guessing that it could be possible.
Well, I know how to. I know to look for myself now. Even if we do come into contact, I'll be able to take better care of myself. Like I said, I made the mistake of not even thinking to check myself, but I'll be more cautious. Yeah, so with that, you guys can saunter off to the next moon over. This one won't require any checks. You're not getting nearly close enough to the Earth, to the planet's core, to have to start avoiding asteroids. You can land on Templar, to be sure. As you land on Templar, let's see here. Tell me of Templar.
What?
Let's see here. Load better this time. Good job. Yep, you land on this orbiting moon. It's very small. It's a very, very small. Very warm, very hot. It's almost like a deserty moon, if you will. There's not a lot of things. There's not a lot of like vegetation or whatever, and there's only like one or two actual outposts. And then there's maybe like a population of the entire moon is probably like 100 people. Very sparse. Some of them coming together, others sort of having more isolated study areas. But you come to this place where you see many mages have gathered of various disciplines: druids, warlocks, wizards, sorcerers. largely seeming academically interested in the. Ooh, get that out of there. That could be there actually, because you guys have personal vehicles around. Largely interested in how Garden works. It's a place full of researchers, druids, and such. What would you like to do?
Etherith is going to try and find a library.
All right. Make me an investigation or insight check to try and figure that one out.
That is a 12 for insight.
12 for insight. You look around. There's no like specific libraries. There's not nearly enough of a population here to produce that, but there are private collections. Make me a persuasion check to see if you could go and find some mages who will be allowing you to go take a peek at their collections.
26.
26. You approach as a very friendly, not at all concerning individual. And yeah, they let you take a peek. What are you looking for?
I'm looking because I'm trying to piece together this thing because it seems to be like deliberately targeting divinity, or celestial things. It's a curse and a disease kind of rolled into one. I guess I'm trying to find anything tied to. How do I describe this? Something in the that deals in the realm of like celestials or versus fiends and disease, evil beings as such that are kind of like metal, I guess, in spelljamming affairs, because usually spelljamming is interplanar, or at least
Yeah.
So
it's a
they deal
fairly
with,
big community.
Yeah, so for something to be directly targeting it as a mean, or attempting to essentially destroy it, seems like surely there's something that fits the bill written down somewhere, right?
Yeah. I'm going to make it a pretty high check because you're trying to do this fast, and usually this would be sort of like a downtime research kind of activity. So I'm going to set the DC decently high.
Okay.
But go ahead and roll me, let's call it a history or investigation check. What's your choice?
Okay. Either is the same, but we'll go history. Why? Okay, I'm going to use a cool sorcerer feature and as magical guidance. I'm going to blow a spell slot to reroll that. Well, that's sorcery point to reroll that. Much better. That is 19.
A 19. You don't know of any like threats or anti-spell jamming communities specifically. Let me see here. Okay. I'll give you something. I want to give you something because it's no fun to get nothing. It's not going to be what you're looking for specifically, but it is something. Give it about a moment if you'd be so kind. You do learn of something. They're not anti-spell jamming specifically, but they are anti this side of the dark region. So in spell jamming, there is like in the astral sea. Maybe you know what? Maybe like you remember something Varsh said, Etherith, about the astral sea. That kind of ticks your brain, and you got to go looking through some books. You learn of this place in wild space called the Dark Region, and it separates one portion of wild space from another. On the other side of the Dark Region is what is only known as the Vidani Empire. Now, the Vidani Empire invaded this side of the Astral Sea long ago and tried to essentially conquer the Great Triad of spheres, which is gray space, realm space, and Kryn Space, along with a number of other members of the proper community. You know that they have a great vested interest in taking over this side of things. I mean, you start thinking of factions that just don't like realm space. Like maybe that's it, because
Yeah.
the Kindorei being hurt here won't affect other wild space systems. Like it's not going to be contagion to that. So they don't travel fast. They can't go from one wild space to another. That's specifically spelljamming. So if someone had something against realm space specifically, now we're opening up the books for lots of enemies.
Okay.
The Skrull, this Vadani Empire, this ancient enemy of the Triad, any number of enemies out there in the Astral Sea, any number of great old ones, far realm entities. Indeed, the Illithid. You're opening up the books there if you start to think about it in perspective of who doesn't like realm space as opposed to who doesn't like spell jamming. So I'll say that's what you get. Your mind kind of gets open to the possibility. You don't find anything, but your mind opens to the possibility of someone who hates realm space as opposed to spell jam. Yes, Apoxy.
I think after not understanding a word of anybody saying anything except the word curse, Poxy would try to look for any Baphomet cultist and get wisdom from them.
Very cool. So I'm going to take us over to what I have as your player Astral Sea map. And this represents what you know of, what you as a party know of Astral Sea locations. I think it's kind of fitting that this one I put in here because it's kind of, even from this perspective, kind of out in space. I'm going to put the weird in, I'm going to make the weird visible.
Awesome.
That's not far at all.
Yeah, it's not far away at all. But you now know of it. And you guys are in realm space, so I'll make that nice and visible too. We haven't seen this yet, but did I not make realm? Was realm space not made? Oh, I put on the token screen. That's why. Let's put it on the map section. Cool. So far you should be able to see realm space and weird.
Whoa.
I'll put up gray space as well because you guys were about to go there a while back. You guys don't currently have the means of getting there, but you do know of it. Was it gray space or was it Kryn space you guys were going to go?
Gray space.
Gray space, yeah.
Gray space. Okay, good. Right there. So you guys don't have the method of getting there, but you are now aware of these three places in the Astral Sea. Thanks, Rathbreath. Yes, Apoxy, you want to go looking for secret cultists. I want you to make me, to do this discreetly, I want you to make me a stealth check. I don't really need a stealth check. You're just walking around.
I don't think Epoxy would be that concerned.
And frankly, like, there's nothing suspicious about walking up to people and talking to them. I do want you to make me an insight or investigation check to see if you can track any such fellows down.
Oh, I'm getting rid of that dice again. I got sorry, insight or what?
Investigation, insight or investigation.
Okay, well I got a 3.
Oh man, I wanted you to go find your new friends. You don't find any, I'm afraid to say.
This town is boring.
You can always
can't find
try
anything.
and beseech your new patron directly if you wish. You know how to do that, you were told. If you were to, commit a hunt of lesser beings to him in his name.
In that case.
Oh my god.
I'm not exactly the quietest person, but I will go down an alley or a dark, strange, just a bad area in general, and try to look for trouble there.
Okay.
Can I
Uh,
stealthily just seeing her go down?
yeah, you see her wander down an alley.
I'm
So
going for
Apoxy,
something.
you wanna. So what are you looking for? Because like, what are you looking for specifically? You're just trying to find any old Joe Blow.
No, I'm trying to find someone that can make someone that can make me dance.
Okay, you're looking for someone with a little up their sleeve. I want you to make me. I want you to make me an insight or investigation check as you wander around looking for a ripe target.
4.
I will
My
give you.
dice are betraying me.
I'm going to give you 3 individuals because of this.
Okay.
Um. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, you see 3 individuals. You find 3 individuals that may or may not be. You find this one gnomish individual who has a little bit of like magic to them, and they're, I don't know, you can clearly tell that there's some kind of wizard. A little bit more accomplished, have the flowing robes and such. This sort of like a gnomish wizard. You see this like human boy who's like a teenager, and he's wearing like very like basic wizarding robes. He's probably a student or of some kind. And lastly, you see this like kind of old man who's like got a walking stick more than an actual staff, and he looks like a little bent over and like a little crazy in the eye. Which of the 3 would you like to try and go after down an alley?
Sorry, what was the first one?
The first one was like this like middle-aged gnomish woman. She has like big kind of nerdy glasses and she looks pretty well endowed as some kind of wizardy type.
Second was the old man.
Third was the old man. Second is like this teenager like young wizard. Like you know, barely out of his britches.
These will do. They all look weak.
Yeah, which weak one do you want to go after? The old man, the teenager, or the nerd?
Well, thinking this logically, I don't think Epoxy would look for a disheveled old man, and probably would like someone more capable. So I think they'd go for the magical one.
Okay, so you're going for like the nerdy looking gnome girl. Okay, you find this nerdy looking gnome girl. She's like wandering down this back alley. She looks like she's on her way to do something, and you like step out from the shadows. And she goes, excuse me, I'm just trying to get by.
I slowly just start walking up to her and start
She like,
chanting.
what do you chant? What do you chant?
Oh, Lord Baphomet, please feast
Oh,
upon
God.
my prey.
She
And I
goes-
just
she goes,
go.
holy fucking shit! Roll initiative.
Not 20. Why do I get this now?
Yeah, you win. Do your thing, man. You take her back entirely. She's not
I'm
ready.
just gonna eat her whole.
All right, you go into a
Shred
rage and get your teeth out.
Yes.
All right, attack. Do your worst.
God dang it. Oh, I am raging.
Yeah, I assume.
Well, a 12 plus 6. Will 18 hit?
18 will hit. Go and roll damage.
All right. I
Ooh,
gotta
actually,
check.
she's gonna. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. You're good.
All right. 7 piercing damage.
She takes 7 piercing damage. You got another attack for me, or are you good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I need a new set of dice. Next one's an 8 plus 6. 16. No,
16 will hit. Go ahead and
sorry,
roll
14,
damage.
14, 14.
14 will not hit instead.
God dang it.
18 plus 6, yeah, that won't hit. You bite down on her and you like pull back to bite again. She like drops down real low and gets under your teeth. That will be her turn. She is going to like do a little spurt of like bluish magic that sort of solidifies to look exactly like her, and then it's going to like file around her as she moves. And you're going to kind of like lose track of her, like the cup thing. Or like they slide all the cups around. It's a little bit like that. You're like, like lose track of her.
I knew this was gonna be difficult, but this is just obnoxious.
She goes, "You're obnoxious. You're trying to kill me.
I need
and
this.
I need to live." And she is going to make 2 arcane burst attacks against you. Did you attack recklessly, or was that a straight roll?
I attacked recklessly.
All right, roll advantage. She will certainly hit with a natural 18. And then the second one miss. She's going to sort of blast you, and you are going to take 10 psychic damage.
This is nothing
She's like,
compared
"So there,
to
take that,
astral
you
space.
mean evil person." Go ahead and make your attacks. These will be at disadvantage because she has used her displacement feature.
I am, for the first time, gonna use my battle axe.
Take out your battle axe. She goes, "That looks brand new."
I did want to attack recklessly,
All
so
right, recklessly
just
will
to
bring
make
to
it flat.
Yep, make a nice flat roll.
22
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
and 15.
15 damage. Holy shit.
Oh,
She
sorry.
goes, or
The
15
second
hit.
attack. Yeah, the second attack was 15.
That will hit as well. Go ahead and roll damage for both strikes.
First one is a 7.
7 damage. Okay, roll me the damage for the second.
13.
13 damage. She is bloodied. She goes, "Oh no, oh no."
Come here.
I don't want to. Her displacement feature runs out as you struck her. It's not coming back. She is going to cast a spell at you. I need you to make me a intelligence saving throw. That'll go up.
All right. DC.
DC 13.
I got a 18 on the die.
She begins to create more phantasms and illusions around you, but in your rage, you pierce through them, and she has to no avail. And she goes, that's
You're
really
not
not
getting
good.
away from me.
Oh, but I really want to live. Go ahead and take your turn.
Do I still have a disadvantage?
Not anymore, no. So you're at advantage.
20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will hit.
I'll do my damage. Sorry about that last time.
No problem.
6 damage.
6 damage. She's extra bloody. Go ahead and take your next attack.
21.
21 will hit. Roll me some damage.
13.
13 damage. You got her. You slash her with the battle axe, and she falls to the ground, bleeding, coughing up blood. And she looks up at you with her little gnome eyes. Her glasses are broken. She goes, "Please, don't do this." She's like on death saves. You finish her off.
Lord Baphomet, take my prey. And
Baphomet.
I strike her and on the floor I just do a sign of Baphomet.
You rip out her throat. And she fucking dies. Blood splatters across the back wall. You create a pentagram in the ground and her blood around her dead corpse. You call out to Baphomet. I want you to make me, and I will have advantage because of this worthy sacrifice. I want you to make me a wisdom-based religion check.
Oh,
You'll have advantage.
thank goodness. Wisdom?
Wisdom-based religion.
Just the 17.
17 is really good. You feel a great and terrible presence around you as you have felt before. Let's really set the scene here. Let's really make this fucked up. Completely out of left field.
I need answers. This is for the greater good.
Do I have a little? Ooh, I know what I got. No, what is it? We don't need any of that. So in this moment, you feel a great burning presence around you. You feel as you have slain this weaker foe, proving yourself the superior hunter in this moment. You feel this deep, dark, evil presence, satisfied as it is. What do you do as you feel the presence of Baphomet around you as his eyes have been turned in your direction?
I take a single knee and I lower my head. I brought to you pray for your wisdom.
What wisdom would you seek from the entity specifically?
The curse of the Kindorei.
Curse of the Kindorei. It says, it beseeches to you, and it says, and it asks, and it wonders, this is the boon you would ask? You would wish to know about these Kindorei? That is what you would wish to seek as prize for this most glorious kill?
I would not ask nothing more of the Lord Beast.
It believes you wise to do so, to not ask more than you are deserving of. But if this is what you wish to know, then the wisdom of Baphomet will be put to you. You recognize indeed that the Kindorei are prey. Not traditionally as we do so, as you do so, a hunter to prey, where you stalk it, where you take from it and you kill it. This is prey to something else. The Kindorei are indeed afflicted quite intentionally by an evil entity, by an entity that wishes to see the fall of celestials in realm space. You are not incorrect for believing that there is an evil mind behind all of this, a dark one that did manufacture this curse. It is far too intricate, it is far too intentional for it to be something of nature. Indeed, something most dark and evil did bring it forth. And that is what he will give you. He will tell you that there is a predator that has made prey of these Kindorei, and it wonders if you are a worthy enough hunter to turn predator into prey for yourself, and if you are able to take it as your own slaying in his name. For if you were to slay such a mighty predator, one that makes a victim of all celestials in realm space, my, what powers he'd be willing to possess upon you.
Consider it done, Lord Beast.
And with that, the presence of Baphomet will back away, and you'll be left in the alley with this most innocent gnome slayed upon the altar of your faith, of your unholy faith. You are definitely evil alignment now. Of
Lawful
whatever.
evil?
Sure. Well, what were you? What were you before? Were you chaotic
Lawful
neutral?
neutral.
You were lawful neutral. Yeah. Let's leave you at lawful evil, as you were straight up murdering folks for power, which is pretty cool. It's pretty hardcore of you.
Totally
Uh,
not. Did not see this earlier today.
you leave this body remains slain, slashed, mauled in a pentagram circle. And would you leave now?
Clean myself off as best I can and just casually stroll out.
Like Mickey Mouse after a day of work, you wander out, casual as can be. Make a deception check.
Fine, check the message for me
Uh,
on Zoom.
Okay, I'm looking.
6.
Maybe a check.
I did have a look on
Oh, you
it.
did?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's on the D&D.
Oh, gotcha. I'll go take a
Sorry.
look. No problem. Okay. Okay. Sweet. You saunter out. What'd you roll hypoxia? Sorry.
I just stealth?
Deception. Deception.
Oh, deception. I got a 7.
You appear from the back alley, like dripping with blood, and everyone turns around, looks at you, and you're like, "It's been a crazy day."
You
The
saw
laughing track
nothing.
go- the
No,
laugh, yeah,
I'm
basically you look down.
intimidating them.
Yeah, make an intimidation check as deception clearly does not.
What is with my rolls today?
I'll allow you to use strength on your modifier if you want. This is like a physical intimidation.
Hold on. I think. Okay. My intimidation's better than my strength score.
Well, you can use like if you're proficient in intimidation, you can use strength over charisma for the check. So, are you proficient in intimidation?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have more charisma or more strength?
Strength.
All right. So use your strength modifier plus proficiency instead.
Okay. 8, 9, 10, 13.
13. These are mages. They're not the bravest folk in the world, but they kind of like they just they don't want anything to do with it. These are researchers and like arcanists, and they don't care. Well, they do care, but they like
Not enough to get involved.
none of them want to get involved. No, they're like, I'm here for like cool herbology research. I don't want nothing to do with this. And they pretty much all want. And you saunter to the nearest water source and actually clean yourself off. Okay, what is anyone else doing other than Ethrith and Apoxy?
Yeah, I will try to seek out any Templar religious district.
Okay.
It's a small place, right?
It's like a population of 100 people on the entire planet.
Yep.
So I will say you don't find any temples, but I'll say that you do find like a number of like naturalist clerics and such.
Okay. Oh, good. I'll talk to them.
Okay. Yeah, you go up to this one cleric who, what's his name? He says, this dragonborn sort of like cleric turns around to you and she goes, "Wow, what can I do for you?" And you see she's wearing like a symbol with like a big tree, like an oak tree on it. She goes, "Well, what do you want? What can I do for you?"
Hi there. We were looking for a little bit of guidance. Have you heard about the plague that's afflicting the what are they called?
Kindorei.
Kindorei?
He goes, no, I haven't heard of any no Kindorei problems. I've been rather consumed with my research.
Okay, well, maybe just in general, if you've heard or you know of anybody that studies this type of thing, it appears to be something of a disease, but also sort of commingled with a curse. Dude, have you ever heard of anything like that?
I goes, actually, just the other day I received a communion from the Oak Father himself. He said that there was indeed someone around Garden here who had an interest in plagues and curses. I didn't make much sense to me at the time, but such as the things with prophecies, they all kind of make sense when they make sense. Since you're asking, yeah, he said that to guide any wayfarers interested in such things, to guide them to where was it? It was Fjord, I think. Yes, to tell them to go to Fjord.
Ah, Fjord.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, no, fuck, it wasn't Fjord. God, I get them all mixed up. I'm so sorry.
So then not Fjord.
No, not Fjord. Don't go there. That's a silly place to go. Why would you go there? Oh, that's right. That weird named planet. Pikion. Yes, go to Pikion. The old elvish outpost there is what the Oak Father portrayed to me.
Pikia. Yeah, the Oak Father. Okay, well, he sounds like a fairly reliable entity.
He is,
All
of
right.
course he is.
I will. Thank you very much for your help. I will. I'll pass that on to my group.
All right. Well, good luck with that. I performed
Oh.
a divine duty today. Yes.
Do you know anything about this, Pikion? Like, what should we look for when we get there? Like, how will we know we're on the right track?
I've never been there before. I imagine it probably has something to do with the old abandoned elvish outposts, but I don't know. I've never been there before. It's of no interest to me.
Do you know if there's anybody still there now, or is it all just abandoned?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I've never been there before. It's of no interest to me. My subject of research has far to do with the fungi. I definitely know what planet it is because it's my center of things.
You know a fun guy?
No, I don't know any fun guys, but I'm what is it? It looks like an eyeball. I lost my words today. There it is. Retin-A. My research is far more specified towards retin-A and the fungi that grows within its sort of pupilled place.
Oh, I see. Is that fungi known to have any healing properties?
Indeed, yes. There's great application. It's a very versatile fungi.
Oh, have you been able to harvest any?
No, I don't. I've been trying to find a Spelljammer to take me there, but I kind of gave up on that, and I'm performing more theoretical stuff now.
I see. Okay, well, do you do most of your research here now? You spend some time here in this place?
Yes, I'd rather put down my how would the Oak Father put it? My roots. I've sort of put down my roots of research here on Templar. I like to stay here and do my research from afar.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you very much for your help. I'm going to yes.
If you ever find your way out to Retin-A and you manage to get some of the fungi from the center comet, the center crater, and bring them back to me, I'd be willing to pay you quite handsomely for your services. I'd be willing to pay you 50 gold pieces for a viable sample, a viable living sample, that is.
Okay. Are there any special instructions about harvesting this fungi? Do you know anything about it? Like, I wouldn't want to bring you back a ruined sample.
Just make sure that it comes back, still maintaining its liveliness. Just treat it delicately. It shouldn't be too hard to obtain. Maybe keep it in a vial or something.
All right, sounds good. I will keep that in mind. I'm not sure if that's one of the places that we're going, but if we do stop by, I will make it my own personal mission to try and see that you get a little bit of fungi.
Ah, thank you. You seem like a fun guy too.
I am a super fun guy.
Oh well, thank you very much, young autognome. And by the way, I am Professor Drake. Sure, let's call me that.
Professor Drake?
That's right. To you.
That is a yeah, sure. That's a great name. Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Drake. I'm sure that I'll see you again at some point. And I will let you know if we find anything.
Okay. And we'll go back to talking to her colleagues. Who else? You're in Templar. Was there anything for Basson? Is there anything for Zlace?
You go if you want.
Visan stays on the ship and works on personal projects.
Understood. Okay. Then after we'll say 2 hours, the party sort of finds their way all back to the Dawn's Eclipse. Yes?
I was just wanting to see if there's like a trading post there that ships in stuff or out stuff. I just want to talk to them.
Unfortunately not. Most of everyone here is a mage and not business people per se, not in shipping or anything. But there are people here that do deal in magic items.
Okay. Can I go and talk to them then and see what they
Okay. I want to see what they've got. All right, let me see what they got. Let me just a half a moment. That was not what I wanted. Here we go. Just give me half a moment while I get that prepped for you. It should only take a second. All right, here we go. Let's see. This is... All right. Let's see what they got. Okay. You head over there, and there's this particular shop. There's an individual there who says, "Oh, welcome. Yes, welcome. Would you like to look at my wares?"
Yes, I would, please.
All right. I only have 4 to sell right now. As you can imagine, it's a little it's big business trying to get everything sold. I have 4 items for you. The first 2 are scrolls. I don't know if you're proficient with spell casting, but I have a scroll of entanglement and I have a scroll of enemies abound. Would either of those interest you?
Right, the enemies abound. What's that?
Oh, yes, of course. Let me tell you about that. It is a 3rd level spell that can be cast by wizards, warlocks, sorcerers, and bards. It only lasts for 1 minute. It's a concentration spell and has a range of 120 feet. Now, what it does is that you reach the mind of one creature that you can see and force it to make an intelligence saving throw. The creature automatically succeeds if it is immune to being frightened. On a failed save, the target loses the ability to distinguish friend from foe, regarding all creatures it can see as an enemy until the spell ends. Each time the target takes damage, it can repeat the saving throw, ending the effect on itself if successful. Whenever the affected creature chooses another creature as a target, it must choose the target randomly from among the creatures it can see within range of the attack, spell, or ability it is using. If an enemy provokes opportunity attacks from the afflicted creature, the creature must make an attack able to do so. So essentially, it makes somebody go fucking berserk.
Okay. What are the other 2 items that you've got, please?
Yes, I have this. And he's going to pull out a rather gray robe with a number of patches all over it. I'm going to say this is known as a robe of useful items. It is fully equipped with its most distinguished patches, daggers, lanterns, steel mirrors, and such. But it also has 5 patches remaining for additional random effects. Essentially, what happens is when you pull a patch off of the robe, it will make something spring into existence. As you can see, and he'll point to a number of patches. Like one actually has an image of a dagger on it. One has an image of like rope. One has an image of like a sack. So see, if you pull these off, you will get those very specific items. But there's 5 mystery patches, and who knows what might spring out. It could be a bag of gold. It could be a ferocious warhound. It could be anything.
Okay. And how much is that?
That one is going to go for 400. Oh, no, more than that. This one is going to go for 600 gold pieces.
Okay. And what's the last time you've got?
But this is a rather unique item, and he will pull out a javelin that seems to almost spark with lightning. It says this is a javelin of lightning. It has within it the power of the storms. It is a very good javelin. You can throw it, and it creates a giant line of electricity, or you can throw it at a specific person and shock them as you hit them. It is a great weapon for those who want to bring a bit of a spark to the battle and are pretty good at throwing things.
Okay. So, if I was to take all 4, give me your best price.
Make me a persuasion check.
I need to get better at persuasion. 13.
13 says, all of them, you say? Sold all of them to you for, let's say, 3,000?
I mean, okay. I'd love to do 3,000. What about 2,500? I can do that straight away, right now, cash in hand.
Make me a persuasion check.
What's that? 11.
11 was what do we meet right in the middle and call it 275?
Okay, deal.
All right. So for 2,750 gold pieces, you can be the proud owner of a javelin of lightning, a robe of useful items with 5 special patches, a scroll of enemies abound, and a scroll of entanglement.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I was all right. Have a good day, and we'll run off with gold pieces in hand. Okay. Fantastic. So with that, you can all come back to the ship with new items, information, and perhaps a path. What do you wish to do?
I would go ahead and share what I heard from the Dragonborn priest with everyone. That they suggested that we go to the abandoned outposts on whatever that's called, Hekion, and that they're willing to pay us if we happen to be on the fungi planet, on the Retinae planet, and we pick up some fungi for them, but it's not enough for us to make a special trip.
I'll relay what I learned about the Vidoni Empire and also the possibility of maybe Skrull being responsible. That's I mean, Skrull just hate realm space.
So, I think we just need to decide on how we're going to get this antidote made, and then go from there. I think that's most probably the first point of call.
We can try Glorianus next. See if there's this druid there. And I mean, a druid sounds like someone who could make a potion of some kind and then stop at then try for the abandoned outpost. It's all very, very sequential.
You guys want to head over to it's a little bit of definitely going in order because the further in you go, the more dangerous it gets. So let's see here. What would be next? Glorianus would be next. Okay, you guys want to head to Glorianus?
Yep.
Right, I'm gonna do a quick little ship check for Captain. Oh man, it's been so many captains. Captain Ed, to see if he's able to pilot through the asteroid field. The ship takes a little damage. He bounces off a couple of unfortunately bounces off a couple of rocks. I'm gonna say you guys take. I know it's like.
Ouch.
The ship will take 38 points of bludgeoning damage as it gets hit by a number of asteroids.
Good lord.
Yeah. He goes, "Oh, sorry guys, and I don't know what's going on with me today. It's almost like I'm not here, you know? Just like I'm just not fully here."
It's felt like you've been away visiting your brothers.
In my mind, I feel like I've just been thinking about him a lot lately, man. Like his beach house he used to have. I don't know. And yeah, so you guys will take the damage. I'll go toss that onto Clips real quick. That was 38 points of damage. I'm gonna get rid of all this stuff. Games. Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say while you were doing that, I was just going to go around and see a few people. So I'm going to walk up to Ethrith and give him the 2 scrolls that I bought. So that's the entanglement and the enemies abound.
Thank you. I wish this set you back.
Don't worry about it. It's covered. We're good. Just thought some of these might come in handy. They don't come around very often, so they're there. They're for you. You're more than likely going to be able to use them a bit more than anybody else. Enjoy. So that's the enemies abound and the scroll of entanglement.
They're both 3rd level, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Entangle, I do not believe is. I think Entangle is a 1st level spell.
Got it.
Which can only be used by druids. But enemies abound is 3rd.
Okay.
Yes, Apoxy.
Real quick, was that trip considered a short rest?
Yeah, I'll give you guys a short rest for the trip to.
And also, I didn't get a clear answer for what type of greater evil this was, right?
That's right.
Okay.
He basically was like, because he's not going to give you, like, he's not going to tell you how to hunt your prey, but he is telling you, he has told you that there is prey to hunt. And we'll be interested to see if you're going to be able to track it down and hunt it.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to say all the NPCs will stay on the ship with Ed, so there's no fear about protection. Jorn, Elara, Celine, they'll all stay on the ship with Ed. And you 5 bounce off, and when you get here to Glorianus, again, it's a crescent-shaped moon. And yep, and it is an A-sized planet, which means it's very small. It is the minimum requirements to be considered an actual moon. Like literally, as you're standing here, you can like look off in the distance and see Actually, it's a very cool feature. I think I'll just pull one of these. There you go. You land here and you can see the stars. You can see the burning star sun sort of floating around. But it's very warm here, and it's just like the entire planet is just covered in like a thick layer of grass. Very nice. So you
What
have
is
a
this?
druid. You have a druid you intend to seek. Go ahead and somebody make me survival. Whoever would
Sure.
take the lead for the hunting of.
I'll give
I'll
it
say
a shot.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I'll say perception as well. Anyone wants to roll survival or perception?
I will
Because
roll a
it's
perception.
kind of a flat, crescent-shaped grassy place.
15 as I gaze up at this curved. Does the
19.
plane go up like that?
Got a rat
Yeah.
8.
15,
I got it.
19,
I got a dirty 20 for survival.
30, 20.
17
Apoxy?
survival.
17
I
percent.
got an 8.
Yeah, Apoxy, you're maybe Etherith has got you aside. Apoxy's like, look at look how big I can see from that point to that point. And you're like, whoa. And you guys are just kind of like enjoying it as like something of a feast of the eyes. Whereas the rest of you start looking around and you're gonna be like, okay, whoever this is probably gonna be near a body of water, or being a druid maybe created a body of water, but water is important for life. There's clearly water here because there's grass. Let's go find some water. You guys start following around and you do find that there is a little oasis in the grassy fields. You make your way over and you're going to see all kinds of little critters, possums, fox, little field mice, squirrels, all kinds of like grassland creatures, beasts wandering around here and there. And you're going to see sitting on a rock, just sort of enjoying it all. You're going to see this guy turn around. You see this, what looks to be a human, but he has like fungus and kind of growing off of his clothes in certain portions. And he's got like a long beard, long hair, very oh man, what's Gandalf's buddy from The Hobbit?
Radagast.
Radagast. Very Radagast, where he's got the long beard. He has like
Wow.
nature like growing up in his beard and like across his clothing. You look into the eyes of this individual and you sense that this is an individual of great age and wisdom who is here amongst nature alone. And he turns and he kind of almost like thinks to himself and kind of almost like he hasn't used his mouth in a long time, kind of I don't know if mine common is up to date, but I shall tryeth my best. Who art thou that comes here to mine rock, thither and non?
The Kindorei are in trouble. Can you help us?
Speak so, but the Kindorei are hurt. How interesting. I make me a persuasion check.
10.
10.
Yeah.
He sort of sighs and goes, I don't see how I say no. Always there shall be people wandering through, finding new ways to disturb my vacation. Mind you, it has been some 200 years. Perhaps at best I do something productive. And then this like little fox sort of bounds up onto the rock next to him and kind of sort of like howls at him, and he kind of goes, yes, I suppose you're right. Fine. And this like really strange druid seems willing enough to aid in whatever endeavors you have. And we will come back to all of this next session and see how helpful he really is, this weirdo.
I can't believe I turned evil.
I can. You
I
killed
can.
someone. Like, you killed someone to get information. Like you sacrificed. I mean,
I know.
how did
I
you
love
not
it.
think
I
you're
love
gonna?
it.
I look,
Like it was.
me, the
It was.
player, I would not have done it in any situation, but knowing Epoxy needs something, some information somewhere, Epoxy's gonna do it.
Right, but
Let's just
But-
go kill some.
of course you turned evil. Like
I love it, man. I love
it's an
somebody
objectively
committing to
it is an
evil.
objectively evil thing to do. Like that is
Yeah.
Okay, but how many people have we killed so far?
and
Let's be real.
justify the need.
I just like that now we're the meme with like the two hands like worshipping evil gods.
Think of the potential for an evil piratey Spelljammer game, guys. Think about it. Or like a morally flexible anyway. You guys are pirates. One of you worships Baphomet. One of you like decides that Githyanki are pretty cool. You know, I mean,
That so why should bring someone else in? Got it.
Right. I was gonna say, as a player, I'm here for it, but I didn't bring the right character for
Yeah,
that.
like as a player, I'm here
No.
for it, but yeah, no, that at that point, Bisan's got to go do something else, and I'll bring in an evil.
I'm sorry, Basan.
it's
Doesn't know what happened.
I'm just talking.
Sorry.
I need Epoxy to confess her crimes to after just being like, cool.
Yeah.
That's your path, man. That's your crossroads, bro.
Yeah. Just
But
be
how
like,
many times do I have to tell the truth before someone actually listens?
When
I
you
think that's
pass
the
the-
funny part of having low stats is like no
yeah,
matter
pass
what.
the
like-
persuasion check.
And my freaking rolls today were they were
They were
disgusting.
pretty bad.